As we look to the stars in the sky, we ask ourselves, are we alone? And what does that mean? And where does it end? Are we alone? It's a matter of life and death.
You got me taking it to the top, to the top. You got me taking it to the top, to the top. Ooh yeah. You got me taking it to the top, to the top.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Game4Access Collegiate Invitational with ES Gaming, powered by Easter Seals. My name is Hootie Hoo. We have Bass over here as well. Bass, how are you feeling this evening?
Feeling fantastic. I'm excited to get into the action. We have got a lot of best collegiate teams that all of North America and Rocket League has to offer. And honestly, beyond even just having the best teams here, we've got a great stream. I'm excited to see everything. I'm excited for for the people that make this happen here today. Like you said, a lot of different people behind the scenes making sure this event even goes on.
Absolutely. And I do want to talk for a moment because, like I said, this is in partnership with ES Gaming, powered by Easter Seals. And so you may be wondering, what is Easter Seals? Easter Seals is a national nonprofit that's leading the way to full equity, inclusion, and access through life-changing disability and community services. Trusted by families for more than 100 years, they have worked with their partners to enhance quality of life and expand local access to healthcare, education, employment, and transportation. I mean, awesome stuff here. And I do want to shout really quick before we get too far into it. We've got some great links in the chat. You can check some stuff out. We've got a Tiltify. We're raising some funds here for this event. Exclamation point donate right here in the chat. ES Gaming has a Discord. You want to connect with other folks, learn how to get more involved and make a difference. You can do exclamation point Discord here in the chat as well. We have another one. Exclamation point ESG is going to provide you with a link to the ES Gaming website. We also have exclamation point Easter Seals, which will also redirect you to the actual Easter Seals website. And then one final is exclamation point CC if you are needing some closed captions. So we've got stuff here in the chat. Now, Bass, we have an exciting match for this first one to kick things off. We have Gallaudet University versus Northwood. Talk to me a little bit about this matchup.
Well, honestly, I think the first team that you have to talk about when coming into this matchup is always going to be Northwood.
Of course.
For those that do not know about Northwood, they are the reigning CRL champs, and that is not necessarily for the CRL World Championship, where unfortunately we actually lost to Europe, so North American fans, they're probably not happy that I'm bringing this back up. But as far as Northwood for this year, they are the reigning CRL champs. They won last semester, and not only did they win, Hootie, they did so in undefeated fashion. Came in through the upper bracket, lost a single game through all three series that they played. They looked dang near invincible, and honestly, they're going to look invincible today unless somebody can step up.
Well, Gallaudet is definitely it's an awesome school themselves. They are the first collegiate esports program with accessibility for deaf and hard of hearing players to allow for the best experience possible for all individuals when competing in games. And you know we are excited about that, especially because February is North American Inclusion Month And of course, that's what we're all about here with this tournament. We want to make sure that everyone has equal opportunities. So, I mean, with that being said, I'm excited to see how they can fare against the actual best team in CRL at the collegiate level.
I wish them the best of luck, and I
yeah.
believe that they can definitely compete against them. The issue is that many have been able to compete against them. Very few have been able to topple what is quite literally a dynasty within CRL. Like we said, they did not necessarily win the World Championship last year, but this team seems to get a better and better addition every single year. Last year, they played with a little bit of a different roster. This year, they brought in professional player Zanil to round out this team. Hootie, I mean, I'll let you talk a little bit about Zanil. I know you know about Zanil. I know you know about this roster. All three of these players, incredibly solid.
Yeah, Zanil, I mean, he has been one of those players that's floated around the bubble scene for a while. Somebody that I know that you have had your eyes on for a while. Him and Cheese, they kind of came up together at that same time. And when you tap him in alongside players like Lion Blaze, I mean, it's just going to be an impressive team. It's going to be something that is difficult for this Gallaudet squad to deal with. And while we're talking about Gallaudet, let's give a quick shout to those players. Here we can see the roster. Punisher is a player for the Gallaudet squad. We've also got the Rich Kid. I'm not sure exactly if that is maybe just a gamer tag. We have a different name there on the Start GG page. But, I mean, listen, we're going to be honest and we're going to say, a little bit unsurprised here. Northwood, heavy hitters. They're off to a hot start here in Game 1.
Yeah, not surprising to see them get the first goal. The thing that might be surprising is that they did so in about 17 seconds. Plenty of time still for either one of these teams to either increase their lead or find a comeback, but this is the type of action you're going to have to expect when playing against Northwood. If you guys have seen so far, they've more or less dominated the aerial space, but the shot's starting to go the other way. Rich Kid, tap forward. Can anybody else extend that play? Max trying. Punisher, shot on! Lion Blaze, though, yeah, that's not too unexpected. He'll clean it up and avoid a goal so far.
And I got to say, I'm super excited here to see the speed that Gallaudet is able to display. We've sat here and we praised Northwood. I think if you keep up with Collegiate, you understand why. I mean, they've been very competitive for a very long time. And I think all universities across the board they've got a lot of respect for this Northwood team. And that's why we are kind of painting that picture. But we see here, we're a little over a minute in, and while Northwood has applied some pressure, Gallaudet does not look out of place. They're rocking and rolling. They're providing some opportunities here. And there's another one, Lion Blaze. Will dive back just in time. Gallaudet will be forced back into their own corner. A smart play there from Punisher to just delay a bit. And as you can see, the second teammate will sweep in and clear that out to the midfield. Lion Blaze is going to pick up and continue to pound away at that corner. The pinch across. But Zanil just not able to get there quick enough.
Yeah, they're still quick enough, though, that they get into a quick retreat, and Lion Blaze on the other end, prepared for this shot. Very much seems so far that Gallaudet, although they are playing well, are very much trying to keep up with the speed of Northwood. And honestly, this is kind of how Northwood play. They like to mess with their opponents. They like to get them a little bit frazzled, maybe overwork them a bit, and then when they get into their comfortable streak, they'll do something special. They're not exactly doing too much here in the corner, but maybe a pass out can make me eat my words if not for the demo. No shooter there, only the passer initially. Now the transition the other way gives Gallaudet a chance instead.
And I think you nailed it there with that pace. There's another opportunity for Lion Blaze. The ground game, the 1v1 experience showing. He's going to get that flick just to the backside. The defender diving forward, trying to protect that near post. But Lion Blaze spots it, goes wide, and puts in a second for Northwood.
And it's not too surprising to see that Lion Blaze has been, I would say, the heaviest hitter on this offense so far. He is a very solid player, whether it be here or in the competitive professional setting. He's usually one of the most outspoken scorers in the entire league. So, to see him stunt, maybe got Zanil a little jealous, if not for Lion Blaze, going, no such flip resets here. Let me get the ball and see what I can do, as he takes it away from his teammate, maybe for the wrong reason.
We're at the halfway point here for Game 1. All series are going to be a best of 5. We didn't talk too much about tournament structure and format. We'll touch on that after the series is over. But this will be a best of 5. As you can see, underneath each team, there are 3 kind of tabs or dots that they need to fill in. Zanil with an opportunity there. And Northwood, if they can hold this 2-goal lead, they're going to get their first tab filled in for this initial series of the Game4Access Collegiate Invitational.
Doing a good job so far at not only putting on the pressure here, but really not looking out of place. Again, we've seen a lot of long balls downfield that could have caught them off guard, but quick retreats from this team have left them without giving up a goal so far. They do need to be careful on the other end here, though. Gallaudet, a couple of touches that don't seem to have too much purpose, as multiple of them just trying to clear the ball, but not able to do so. Inch out center, Zanil, no contact, and Collegiate, no contact either. And now we're starting to get down to one of the scarier parts of this game. When the time's ticking away, and you start getting forced into your half, because every second that you don't clear the ball is another second wasted. There's another chance for your opponents to further their lead.
Closing in on the final minute here, Northwood holding on to that 2-goal lead, fairly confident. We've got a pass across there from Tibbles. Back to Zanil, who's going to drop it down for a teammate, and it will get cleared away by Gallaudet, but Lionblaze is going to be the first to it. An errant touch there will loft it central, but of course Lionblaze is going to pick up and cover that mistake.
Sidewall here, Zanil trying to get a flip reset. He's gone for a couple of those so far throughout this first game. And for those that don't know what that mechanic is, a flip reset is basically, well, getting your flip reset. It sounds simpler than it actually is. The entire goal is that you get one flip per jump in this game. My goodness, I'll talk about the jumps you get a little bit later, as some explosions will interrupt me as the demos go flying on the back end here.
I mean, you don't need flip resets when you got a teammate that can delete the entire opposition. Lionblaze on an absolute tear there, ahead of the way. Kind of like a fullback for the football team, right? Lionblaze clearing the way. Zanil just rolling it in nice and easy. And that's a 3-0 lead for Northwood. Trying to send a message early in the series.
Maybe, though. Can we see a response here out of Gallaudet, as so far, they are actually still getting some good offense. Again, it's not the offense that's been struggling for them. It's been this on-the-line defense that has been perpetually pushed further and further back into their own half. Now that they get a chance at offense of their own, can they put a good shot on? Absolutely!
Uh-oh.
Punisher catches him on the line with 15 to go. He might have a chance here to see an OT.
We've seen crazier stuff. There's 15 seconds. If Gallaudet can put together a nice kickoff piece, they may have an opportunity. We know that 0-second stipulation. It's indefinite, right? So if they can get one more goal in and give themselves time for a kickoff before hitting 0, this may be an opportunity. Zanil, he's going to handle that first touch well, but the rich kid there for the dunk. Lionblaze will calmly collect this, send it to the corner. He's going to get one extra touch, but it's not the greatest. Central pop, and Punisher will keep it alive, but that is going to do it for game 1. They cannot score twice. Northwood is going to take the first game in this series.
There's nothing to be ashamed of if you're going to play up against Northwood and A, score a goal on them, and B, be able to keep the game relatively close. We talked about this. This is a team that not only were they the definitive #1 team in all of North America for collegiate play, but they did so usually cruising by their opponents. I have seen score lines with Northwood where we start off a series and it's like 5-0. That game stayed at 0-1 or 0-0 for a pretty decent amount of time, and you get a goal at the end of it. Gallaudet showing they're not going to go down silently. They are going to fight to the bitter end of this series, and honestly, I think they've got more fight left in them that they haven't even shown us yet.
Absolutely. I think, too, when you feel a little bit of an underdog, you feel like you're the team that, you've got to prove something. Getting that first goal can really just kind of unlock some confidence, let you feel a little bit more comfortable. Like, hey, you know what? Actually, we can do this. We can puncture that defense. We've already achieved it once. We've got a reset here, 0-0. We're not operating with a 3-0 deficit, right? So that we may see a little bit more confident, and I think we might see it right there as a diving challenge across the middle of the field for Gallaudet. Definitely seeming to kind of increase the pressure, raise that line up a little bit. And there's 2 players up with 1 ahead of the play looking for a bump. And so maybe we will see some more confidence from them here in game number 2, Bass.
I like the confidence that they were showing in game 1 as well. I feel like that's when they did play at their best, is when they were in the face of Northwood and didn't just give them a lot of room to breathe. That's kind of how Northwood like to play. Like we were talking about before, they are a team that like to be aggressive. They like to be in your face. But when that doesn't work out and you miss the ball, that's a wide open goal for Gallaudet.
That is, and I think that really stems off of the double commit that we saw from Zanil and maybe Tibbles. I'm not sure which player it was, but there were 2 players that committed for that deep clear from Gallaudet. And unfortunately, when you commit 2 players to the same play, it doesn't typically work out in your favor. That time, Northwood will concede. It is a long game here. We've got 4 minutes and 15 seconds on the clock. So Gallaudet definitely has a tall task ahead of them if they're going to look to hold on to this. I think a better strategy personally, Bass, would be to build on this lead. You don't want to settle for 1 because a team like Northwood, they're probably going to put 1 in with 4 minutes left to play.
Punisher trying to put 1 in of their own. Gets a little bit hijacked by Max. I did not even see him flying in for this goal.
Look at that. That extra touch there from Punisher off the sidewall. Quick recovery, pre-flip out to the ball. And just a touch to get it central for a teammate there who does have to work it past the defender, but they did well to keep that hitbox behind the ball and keep forcing it forwards. Lion Blaze and Northwood definitely have their work cut out for them, but Lion Blaze is going to put one in straight away.
Well, Lion Blaze said, you guys aren't going to keep a huge lead on us for long. And again, not surprising to see the aerial mechanics being displayed here. A quick 1-2 to get them back into the game. And again, Lion Blaze being the player to do so can't be all too surprising. See how this one changes up. 4 minutes to go. Gallaudet up 2-1 here. I still think North would have a chance at a comeback. I would still almost guarantee that they're going to try and get at least to a 2-2 scoreline. Maybe now.
Word.
Lion Blaze,
my.
double touch center. No contact. Tibbles can't find the follow-up.
Okay, Lion Blaze took it personally. He said 2 goals. I don't think so. He put one in a moment ago just off the kickoff, and now he put that beautiful play together there with an air dribble double touch attempt. Tibbles now going to take his turn. Gallaudet holding strong for the time being, but as I said earlier, 3 minutes left to play. That 1-goal lead's probably not going to stay safe for too long.
Oh, this isn't safe. That's open.
Wait.
Max just needs to
Nice.
redirect it in. And it's a complete flip of the script. 3-1 scoreline, and we're not even halfway through this game.
And we see it again, actually. Lion Blaze and Tibbles there, double commit. And it's almost, it's a very different looking play as far as how it unfolded. But it's a similar concept where you had 2 players on Northwood, defensive side of the ball, kind of panicky a little bit. They both committed for the same ball. And as we covered earlier, that just typically doesn't work out too well for your team. You may not be punished immediately, but you're probably going to be plugged back into a difficult position. That time, and actually both times that it has happened in this game, Northwood has conceded, and potentially a 4th goal for Gallaudet. We got 2:51 on the clock, and Northwood is down by 3.
This is, I'm not going to lie, a little bit of an unfamiliar sight for me. Usually Northwood are a team that not only have the fight in them till the very bitter end, but rarely do teams build this large of a lead on them and kind of hold it for a decent amount of time. We're almost halfway through this game, and what has been a multi-goal lead for Gallaudet doesn't seem like it's surmountable here for anybody on Northwood, especially 4 goals keep getting fired on target. Northwood, another one they have to deflect in front of their net.
Opportunity here. No contact. Tibbles with possession, looking to flick past one. Unable to get anything started there for offense. Lion Blaze, a little bit of boost in the tank. He's up to the backboard.
Ooh.
We know he nails these doubles, and he does it there. Lion Blaze will put in a second.
Yeah, Lion Blaze is saying, all right, if the rest of the team can't score, I'll do it myself. His 2nd unassisted goal in a row, and these are the mechanics we were talking about before. Might not be the flip reset, which I failed to describe earlier today, but a double touch is a little bit easier to describe as it is, as it says. A 2nd touch off the backboard after the 1st. Slams it home, gives his team at least a light at the end of this tunnel, as they do have 2 minutes to go. That is plenty of time here, Hootie, but team needs to hustle. They're still facing way too much pressure on their own half.
Yeah, and we haven't really addressed it here, but we do have Northwood playing with 2. That's because Zanil has had an internet issue, and we just had to, this is something that all the teams and all the players knew beforehand. We're just going to have to play on. If a thing like that happens, it is unfortunate, and we hope that that doesn't happen, and hopefully Zanil can get back in here as quickly as possible. But everybody knows this is just what this tournament has to be. We do not have RLCS admin privileges, so we're just going to keep rocking. Northwood, hey, they're not concerned with that. They're continuing to put goals in the back of the net. They're not going to be stopped by an internet issue. Lion Blaze, another one! And they have done it. They have tied this up, Bass.
And this is the flip reset I was talking about. When you go to the air like this, you're not supposed to be able to flip again. But when you land all 4 wheels on the ball, well, that's exactly what happens. Uses that flip at the perfect time, tucks it into the corner so delicately. And, well, Northwood, just like that, have tied this game. 8 total goals through only about 3 minutes of play, meaning we should have even more. This game is just starting to light up.
Final minute and 30. Get a clearance from Max. Tibbles will be the first to it. But the rich kid is going to pick that up, drop it into the corner. Force Lion Blaze back. Punisher with an early challenge. Want to dispossess Lion Blaze, and I got to say, Bass, that's definitely the strategy to go with. You do not want to let that man have some time and space. Tibbles with a shot on target. He does scoop that corner boost as well. That's going to be a missed touch. So Tibbles just going to stick around, see if he can dispossess The rich kid is actually going to go straight to Lion Blaze on his respawn. He's taking things high in the skies. We've seen him do it a couple times here, but this time Gallaudet puts together a little bit better defense there on the backboard. One player bumped Lion Blaze off the play, and they had someone perched up high, so it's all covered. Looking for an open opportunity there, but the rich kid just can't get it inside the frame.
You can really tell how defensive Northwood is playing right now. They do not want to give up a silly goal, and unfortunately, when you're in a 2v3 like this, any little mistake can be exploited. Speaking of which, nobody goes up for this ball. It almost is a problem, if not for the shot going wide. 40 seconds left here. It feels like Gallaudet just going to waste time. They're just going to put as much pressure on until eventually someone on Northwood makes a mistake. Meanwhile, on the other end, Northwood doing whatever they can to avoid said mistake.
Final 20 seconds, Lion Blaze, not much boost, but he does put a shot towards a target. See how Gallaudet control this on defense. A decent challenge there. Tibbles is going to have to back off. He's got to protect that net. 0 boosts for Punisher. He's not going to be able to follow that up for a double touch attempt. Lion Blaze secures the corner boost and the midfield. A full tank ready to rock, and he's heading down that sideline. Tibble's going to step in off the corner. A big clear from Gallaudet. And maxed up the field looking for the redirect. We're headed to OT here. Northwood. A miraculous comeback has tied it up. And Lion Blaze looking to grab possession there. He will start things off with a booming clear and a full tank of boost. He's going to pursue this down the field, see what he can get started through the corner. A 50-50 and a double commit. Lion Blaze has done all the work. Tibbles just needs to tap it in. Northwood take game 2.
This is so well played out of Lion Blaze here. You can just see every single touch that he is intending is to be a nuisance. He's not just trying to get a pass out center. He is trying to block any attempt at a clear, trying to bait players from Gallaudet into challenges. When he gets 2 of them to jump on the line, that is more enough for Tibbles to clean up and send Northwood to game point. They are 1 single match away from moving on to our quarterfinals. Unfortunately for Gallaudet, unless they change something up, that might have been their best chance so far in this series to get a game off of Northwood.
They certainly had an opportunity there, and I think they played it well. You know, in the beginning of that game, they were pouring the pressure on, and we kind of alluded to it afterwards. That goal in game 1 may have built a little bit of confidence, and it seemed to do that, but I think Northwood just kind of buckled down. They saw what was happening. They saw that more aggressive push, that willingness to apply pressure earlier, you know, higher up the field, bring that back line up a little bit, and they just exposed it. Lion Blaze on multiple occasions went up over the top and exposed that open backboard. Gallaudet's going to have to make a couple of adjustments on defense if they want to hold this Northwood squad at bay and extend the series.
I mean, they have to extend the series at this point, though, unfortunately. Whether they want to or not, if they lose this next game, they're either out of the tournament or they keep themselves alive. It's not going to be an easy task, again, especially when you do get a 2v3 and unfortunately still can't succeed from it. Maybe they'll get a 3v3 in this game. Is Neil's internet back? Not quite yet, so they still do have the same sort of opportunity here on the table. But again, that'd be an easier task against any other team. Former CRL champions, I still have to wish you good luck.
Absolutely. And that actually right there, we saw, you know, whether it's a fake or a miss, either way, it did make Lion Blaze commit. And maybe that's a strategy that they could be using. There are only 2 players. If you can fake one out of the play, that could potentially allow you an opportunity for one of your second or third players to move in for an easy opportunity. Tibbles will have control. Lion Blaze gets bumped, which could be another strategy for Gallaudet to deploy. Those bumps and demos, always tough, especially when you're down a player. Nice save there. Pops it off the backboard and out to the midfield. Tibbles is going to back off and leave space for Lion Blaze. Another bump there from Punisher, aptly named. First 60 seconds has come and gone here for Game 3, and we're still locked at 0.
Kind of feels like Gallaudet recognized that if they're going to win this game, they have to punish on mistakes. So they're kind of waiting for that big opportunity to arrive. Fortunately for them, in their more passive play, they haven't really built any plays together either. This is what we warned about. We talked about how Northwood are really good when given space, and because Gallaudet is starting to back off to try and play for mistakes, look at the space being given. Lion Blaze has a flip reset, can't quite make contact. That's what you have to be careful of. Do not give Lion Blaze room to flex his mechanics, or he'll punish you for it.
He absolutely will. He's proved it on multiple occasions throughout this series thus far. Gallaudet doing well to remain organized defensively. So they're holding Northwood at bay, but they got to have a break. They got to have a break and get to the other side of the field, and that may have been it right there. They did get the pinch. Punisher unable to pick up that midfield boost. He's going to have to take a 50-50 maxed will pick up the next challenge, Lion Blaze. I think he's going to bail out. Doesn't have much boost to work with, so gives Punisher a bit of space. He will clear one down into the orange in. Lion Blaze sneaks in and pops it past one, and that shot is towards the target from Tibbles, but handled well by Punisher. The scoreline remains 0-0.
Maybe you were going to caster curse that one. A decent flick from Gallaudet almost gave them the first goal here of this game. Instead, we took away seconds, get closer to the halfway point. Could be the final game of the series. Reminder again, Gallaudet have to make a win, or have to get a win here. If they do not win this game, it's the end of the series. They will be knocked out of our top 16 entirely. Northwood will move on. Right now, I'm not necessarily seeing anything out of Gallaudet that's really threatening Northwood. They're doing a good job at containing most of these plays, but as soon as I say that, a single miss on defense and Lion Blaze finally punishes like we said he would.
The man that you expect to rise to the occasion, Lion Blaze, is going to put one in for Northwood. And now they got 2 minutes to hold. And, you know, earlier I talked about how you may not want to sit on a lead and try to hold, but I actually think with this kind of dynamic here, that's probably what you want to do. Be a little bit more cautious. Make sure you don't overextend and provide an opportunity for the opponents to counterattack. But it looks like Northwood is not concerned with that. We had a air dribble from one, and the other was pre-jumped off the backboard. So they're looking to continue pouring on more pressure, putting in more goals. Tibbles with a pass across. Lion Blaze unable to make contact. Tibbles there for the pickup, and now they got to hustle back. Punisher with a wide open net, and this is why we said it. You don't want to extend too far up the field and leave that backside exposed. Punisher, he will punish.
This is what they've been waiting for all game. Like we talked about, this is a team who've been looking for the mistakes. As soon as Northwood gets a little bit overconfident in themselves and starts sending the entire team into offense, yeah, quick 1-2 passing play and a counterattack finds its way into the back of the net. Gallaudet playing this one right. They knew Northwood would get more and more eager as time went on. And there's another good example of that. Tibbles dives out center just to try and prevent any counter, and instead it's actually led them into a defensive stance of their own. Where's the shot? Punisher takes it and sinks it. Gallaudet, quick flip of the script here, and they're up 2-1.
It's a great read from Punisher. Spots Tibbles at that near side. He's going to tuck it low, just on the right side of the net. Well done, well struck by Punisher and Gallaudet. They grab that 1-goal lead with 1:19 left. Northwood going to have to make something happen quickly. And maybe a third. Punisher up the field. He's going to scoop and score. Fast, they're up by Duke.
They're doing a good job at not only putting on extra pressure, but you can tell it's forcing Northwood to adapt their play style. Look how aggressive Northwood is starting to play now versus the first half of this, because unfortunately, this kind of turns into a sunken cost fallacy of where they go, okay, well, first half of the game, we played passive and we got maybe 1 goal. Second half of the game, they start playing aggressive and they're seeing more opportunities, but when that doesn't work out, they double down. They go, okay, well, now we're behind in this game, so we have to get more offense, quite literally, in order to get a goal. Now as they pour more and more into offense here, look how open their defense is. Another counterattack evolving here as Gallaudet go the other way.
Lion Blaze will make it back in time to stop the initial press. Tibbles unable to make the clear. Lion Blaze in position as we expect. He's got control. One flick. Not provided enough power. Maybe lacking a bit of accuracy as well. Punisher will take over and work that left side wall. Pass down into the middle. Tibbles lofts it high. Lion Blaze is following Tibbles ahead of the play with the bump. Can Lion Blaze squeak it under the crossbar? He can't! A critical save there from Punisher on the hustle back. They've got 19 seconds to hold. Lion Blaze cut past one. The low 50, and Lion Blaze will force it in. Once again, the 1v1 skills coming to fruition.
And this is the nuisance play I talked about as well. Lion Blaze is not going into this looking to try and force it past the other defense. He is just trying to keep it in an awkward position. That's why when the 50 stalls the ball directly in front of net, the Gallaudet player comes through and swings wide, just forces the own goal there. That's the right way to play if you are Northwood here. Work with Gallaudet and their nervousness. They know they have 10 seconds to potentially extend the series. So if you're going to have that, you're going to play defensive, which might give Lion Blaze and Tibbles a chance to score. 3-3 with 2 to go.
That is what we call ice, Bass. Beautiful stuff from Tibbles, and you know that that is a calm. You see Lion Blaze up. He has full intention to hit that, and Tibbles at the last moment calls him off. Lion Blaze, you can see him air roll his car out of the way to move away from contact, and Tibbles will step in and get that final goal to push this into overtime. Northwood, against all odds, they want to clear this thing in a sweep. 3 games, but can Gallaudet hold on? Punisher, who's been a standout player for me, he's working down that left side. A pass across from Tibbles, covered up well by the rich kid. Uh-oh, there's a big miss on the backside. Fortunately for Gallaudet, Lion Blaze did not have the boost. This is where he's been the most dangerous, and Punisher knows it. He shuts it down quick. A lofty clear here from Max. Will test the defending of Tibbles, but he passes the test. Once again, Lion Blaze into the air. This time he can't get it up as high. It's a little bit of a midfield back and forth for the moment.
Ooh, Lion Blaze off the ceiling, has the flip. Doesn't really do too much with it. Started to ramp myself down on that as I recognize that the touch didn't really lean too much. But I think this is a good idea out of Lion Blaze. He's trying to get creative. He's trying to open spaces to where eventually that 1-2 punch combo that we've seen out of him and Tibbles does work out.
Ooh.
Stuff like that. But he's trying to bait the other defense into. If the numbers are at the advantage of your opponents, get them to dive onto things that they shouldn't. Get the numbers advantage back in your favor. He's trying to fake them out, trying to open space for his teammate. But through a minute of overtime so far, very little space has been given. Almost enough for the rich kid. Sneak one in, but not quite. 75 gone, and we're still tied.
Tough situation here. Lion Blaze looking for the near post. Lacking just a bit of accuracy. The big clear. Actually, the rich kid may have an opportunity for a doink. Tibbles, an awkward situation, but he will get it to the corner. Lion Blaze secures that corner boost as well, but they drop it central, and Punisher, he's there for the shot. Gallaudet take it. 133 into overtime. They get their first W of the series.
And they keep the series alive as well. This one was necessary for Gallaudet here, as if they had lost this game, it wouldn't just be the end of the series, it'd be the end of their night all around. Instead, we push forward into a 4th game here. Gallaudet trying to reverse sweep, though, because, Hootie, as great as that one game is, they need 2 more in a row like that. They slip up on either of these next 2 games, Northwood move on.
Fast, look at Punisher scoreline. 4 goals, 5 saves, 6 shots. He dropped a thou. Punisher is going crazy, doing everything that they can to, like we said, extend this series. See if they can just give themselves one more chance. Just stay alive, see what happens. You never know. Rocket League is a game where, hey, the expected outcome is not always what happens. Sometimes silly stuff happens. Sometimes players make mistakes in moments that they would never make it. That 1 out of 1,000 chance, you never know. So big props to Gallaudet, continuing to chip away and do what they got to do to get that win. Northwood looking to secure the victory here in game number 4. Lion Blaze clear is going to push Punisher back to defense straight away. Punisher well done to grab that extra boost, and now he's hunting Lion Blaze. He finally gets him. Can Tibbles get back in time? He may. The rich kid was unable to collect that in time, but Tibbles a bit too slow back to defense. Max is going to knock in a very easy goal. Oh, I was wondering how he was so slow back to defense, but he wasn't slow. He was knocked out of the way by a lead blocker.
I was wondering the same thing. I'm watching that there, and I'm like, I see Tibbles rotating back. How on earth did he not even get a touch on the ball, and why did the offense hesitate because of it? Well, we learned why. He got physically removed from the net, just like Lion Blaze is physically removing any potential of a stoppage here. This is disgusting.
I mean, that's just a beautiful play. And, I've mentioned a couple times throughout these games where Lion Blaze is just immaculate control on the ground, and he has a long, rich history of 1v1 prowess. For long periods of time, Bass, correct me if I'm wrong, but he was considered the best or top 2 in North America. I feel like for a long time it was him and First Killer. Before Daniel joined the scene, those guys just really had things on lock, and Lion Blaze flicks specifically have just always remained incredibly dangerous.
So good at just, I would say, demanding authority. Every time that you get into a 1v1 with him, it just feels so nervous. You can watch it as players just recognize that if they make one wrong move, ball's going in the back of their net before they can even react. And unfortunately, or I guess fortunately if you are a Northwood fan, he's held this up to this very day. He has played through multiple years of both CRL, competitive Rocket League, everywhere in between. The one thing that Lion Blaze has not been is inconsistent. Unfortunately, the shooting for Gallaudet, a little bit inconsistent. As multiple shots go on, none of them in. One more chance, and there's no contact found.
Oh, man, that is heartbreaking. You generate the chances, you find some opportunities, find some space, and you just can't get the ball in the back of the net. Lion Blaze on the back foot here, low boost, but he will scoop this corner. A masterful 50, a second fantastic 50, just getting the perfect hitbox on this. Will be stopped by Punisher, as we have come to expect, the player that has been the highlight for this Gallaudet squad. Tibbles with a big save on the backside. Fortunate, really, for him that Punisher didn't have a little more boost in the tank. I have a feeling that 1v1 may have gone a different way if that were true. Tibbles, a shot from the side, and Punisher will sweep across to clear it away. We're locked at 1 here, Bass. We do have 3 minutes left to play. A lot of time here in this Game 4.
And it feels like Gallaudet are also starting to find more and more offense here that they're actually creating themselves. We talked about it before. They were really waiting for Northwood punishments, or I could say mistakes, and then the punishment from that. And unfortunately for Gallaudet, it wasn't working out with that playstyle. Now they're a lot more in their opponent's face. Look how quick Max was up for that ball before the defense could even react. Northwood getting pressed further and further into their half. That numbers disadvantage that they were struggling with before is becoming a bigger and bigger problem the further we get into the series. And with only 2.5 minutes remaining, they need to find a way to change this up. Their offense has been so much quieter than in games past.
Good setup from Tibbles. A little bit of a heavy touch. Max will take over. Drop it into the corner. A miss there. Punisher again with a very clutch save. And those are, Bass, you know, those are tough when you've got a teammate that is moving forward and you expect them to make that touch. For you to stay focused and be there in the proper position is always difficult. And as I say that, DeRich kid, speaking of difficult, that quick recovery there. Tibbles in position, but he's going to knock it just to the top shelf up over the top of Tibbles. And Gallaudet hold that 1-goal lead.
Not only do they hold that 1-goal lead, but they do so in the back half of this game. Now, the power dynamic shifts just a little bit here. As Northwood, we talked about that sort of rushing play style that they had towards the back half of that last game when they were trailing. It's probably what they're going to do here, and already we're seeing evidence of that. Tibbles rushing into offense as aggressively as possible, but maybe should have been there for the rebound. All 3 players on defense hesitate. No one goes for the ball, but it's okay. Lion Blaze will get denied. Never mind. More on the line defense.
I mean, they are pouring on the pressure, but Gallaudet up to the challenge, and now Punisher, the all-star for the squad, he's going to force it through. The rich kid will actually get credit for it. 2-goal lead mounted for Gallaudet.
And the further we get into this, the scarier it gets for Northwood. As it's been too long since Anil reconnected. Again, it's been a 2v3 for this team. They need to get their third back in here because very clearly, the offense, the midfield, the defense, it's just missing something. They're playing well, but again, it's just the fact that every time that the numbers disadvantage comes back to bite them, you can see it in every goal.
Lion Blaze cleared. I mean, I can't stop talking about Punisher. What an incredible player, incredible performance. Look up there. You see who gets the block. Lion Blaze in position, has a big clear coming, and Punisher just one step ahead, knocks it down, knocks it central. And as you said, when you don't have that third player, I mean, it's just, you have to be perfect, right? Punisher able to knock that down for a teammate to put in a fourth, and now with the final minute of gameplay, all they need to do is hold. Punisher with a save across the goal line. Lion Blaze, enough boost in the tank to work with. He's going to try for that bottom left corner. There was a small gap, but Gallaudet closed it quickly. Another flick towards the target, and you can see him. Bass, we like to call this park the bus. Get every player you can, shove them in the net, make sure that you do not give Northwood any free opportunities. Make them earn it. There it is again, all 3 players diving, but they have kept Lion Blaze and Tibbles at bay. 30 seconds left. Good touch from Punisher out to the center. The rich kid has it covered for the shot. Max going to pull back. Prioritize defense. I think that's a great decision. Lion Blaze will loft another one towards the target. Maybe a double touch attempt here. Lion Blaze down and in. There is a chance.
There's a chance, but it's a chance that they have to now capitalize on. With 14 seconds to go, if they even slip up a little bit on this kickoff, it's more or less over. So, you all sit here with bated breath now. See how the kickoff goes as Lion Blaze got a breakaway. Him with a flick is dangerous, and it's taken away. If Tibbles is there for the rebound, it could have gone to OT, but the missed shot will mean a miss at closing out the series. We're heading to Game 5. It is do or die for both teams.
Wow. I'm excited. It's Game 5. I know that Northwood is working on trying to get another player in here. They do have an alternate or a substitute signed up on the Start GG website, so there definitely is another player that they can bring in as a part of their roster. But it seems like they've just had a little bit of a struggle to get them here on time. Maybe they will jump in here for this Game 5, and if not, hey, Lion Blaze and Tibbles are going to have to step it up big time if they want to secure the W in this next game.
I saw somebody jump in at the end of that lobby, and, well, if you saw his name, I think you understand. This is about to be a very different series going forward. It's none other than the new signee to TSM. I think we might have just gotten hockey in this lobby. And if we did, oh, Hootie, I know you know enough about hockey, but the audience at home has got to get prepared.
Yeah, hockey has, we talked about Lion Blaze and Zanil as far as, having good success around the bubble level, into the professional level, and at CRL, and hockey is right alongside them, has had tons of success in CRL for an extended period of time at that, and now, after years of continuing to pursue pro play, having scattered success, I would say, has found himself a home with TSM, but that third player may not be enough, Bass. Gallaudet and the All-Star Punisher are going to strike first here in Game 5.
Okay, well, before we had the excuse of, okay, it's a 2v3. They're going to struggle. Numbers disadvantage. All of that. I don't know if there's an excuse right now. Northwood, you guys are the big bad dogs on campus. You're supposed to come in here and set the bar for every team. Instead, you're setting the precedent that you can be beaten. It's 1-0. It's only 40 seconds gone, but very rarely do we see series start off like this, and the response from Northwood is being silenced every time.
That would have been an absolutely phenomenal shot, but as you said, knocked away by Gallaudet. Punisher with a clear. Hockey's going to calmly drop this back to his backboard and fill up that tank of boost and begin through the air. Lion Blaze looking to step forward. Hockey to the backboard. Can he get the angle down and in? He does not. And the clear by none other than Punisher. MVP of the series at the moment. Lion Blaze to the backboard. Unable to get the tap down and in. A follow-up shot from Tibbles. Also a bit errant. Hockey. A third attempt, and that's blocked by Gallaudet as well. Another pass across, and this time Northwood will knock it home. 3:34 on the clock, and we're tied up.
If you don't succeed, you need to try again. I think that's about as many shots as we saw out of Northwood there, as they just continued to hound the net shot after shot. And Gallaudet, although they made saves on a multitude of them, eventually something had to give. And now that gives us a tied ball game here. 3.5 minutes to go. Now you start to see this is what Northwood can do once they start cooking. I advise everybody else get out of the kitchen.
3:20 left to play. Hockey. Lots of space, and Bass, I got to say, I don't think that's a good strategy. The double tap on the backside of the flip reset. Not able to punch it home, but Northwood offense heating up. Good clearance there from Gallaudet. Punisher to the backboard, and that's going to be knocked away by Hockey. The quick transition here, Lion Blaze to the backboard. He does put a shot on target, but Max positioned well. He's going to get the initial save. Tibbles will collect. And Gallaudet struggling to regain possession here on defense. Lion Blaze pops high, leaves for Hockey. The shot a bit wide. Lion Blaze going to turn back and get that boost. Gallaudet, a little bit of a miscommunication there as one of their own players hit it towards their own net. It's going to allow another opportunity for Northwood. Lion Blaze continuing to boost starve Gallaudet. As we can see, the Rich Kid on 0. I imagine the rest of the team doesn't have much to work with either. Northwood take their time, take it back to their end. Hockey with a reset, flicks it towards the target. But a nice save and clear from Punisher will push them to the corner. Tibbles, one opportunity, not much boost to work with, but Hockey up quick. He finds the backboard, has the boost, has it red, but the Rich Kid will send it away. It is a double commit, though, for Gallaudet. And Tibbles' decision to back off will actually give them some time to breathe.
Honestly, though, if you take too long of a breath here, you might just miss. Feels like Gallaudet have had to jump at every single ball that they have seen into their own half. It's a good strategy, like you said, park the bus, just make sure that nobody can score. The issue is that you can only do that for so long, and the longer that you prioritize your defense, the longer it takes for you to get a chance on offense here. It feels like it's been forever since we've seen a shot out of this blue half. Well, Northwood are happy to see that because they just keep doing these aerial plays and these passing plays that are executed to perfection. Unfortunately for Gallaudet, they'd at least like to be able to try this themselves, although try as much as you want. I don't know if you can do it as clean as Hockey.
That was so beautiful. You could see it lining up. Hockey's perspective there. He pulls it up the sidewall. That first touch, maybe a little heavy. He pushed it out a little bit too far, but that just limits his incredible amount of opportunities. And maybe took away the air dribble. Maybe he took away the flip reset, but he still got the pass. He saw the teammate, and once that backboard defender jumped, Hockey had it all set. The trap was laid, and Northwood are continuing to extend the lead. Lion Blaze to the far side for 3, and they're up by 2.
Oh, Lion Blaze, you can even see they're getting frustrated with him. That bump on the sidewall was supposed to deter him from the 1v1 the other way. Instead he goes, I don't even need to get too fancy with this. Simple shot on, simple shot in, and potentially a simple way to our quarterfinals upcoming. Northwood doing a good job so far here of showing that once they do have the offensive prowess, they'll execute upon it every single time. Gallaudet, can you do the same? March into the other half here is very short-lived, but with a minute to go, they're not going to get too many opportunities here. They need to make the most of every single one.
Definitely time, though, and potentially an opportunity here. Tibbles on the retreat, low boost. He will get one touch, which will provide Hockey with an opportunity. Hockey on low boost as well, continuing to play aggressive. But I think they can get away with that now with that third player, Lion Blaze, able to provide a couple of challenges. Going to slow down the Gallaudet attempt. And actually, that's a great shot there. They had a lead blocker, but Northwood just up to the task. It's going to take more. They're going to have to wear that defense down, potentially starve them of some boosts, maybe demo a player. If they really want to get a good quality opportunity, Punisher, he's dropped back and he's found a clear around the oncoming Lion Blaze. Max with a shot opportunity, does send it wide. Punisher's still here, and Lion Blaze on the respawn will get that clear away, and Bass with the final 15 seconds. It's going to be a tough task for Gallaudet.
Trying everything right now just to kind of survive, unfortunately. And as much as surviving is great, doesn't mean that you'll make it to the next round here. The dying embers of the game will eventually extinguish. Northwood, although I can't say I'm surprised, you come out on top. But Hootie, what a first round of the tournament. This one was full of its ups and downs, and although Northwood end up on the up, this was very exciting.
Absolutely, and we got to give a shout to Gallaudet. They played competitive. Obviously, this is a little bit of a wonky series with someone disconnecting, but nonetheless, as I said when it happened, this is something that we established. All players knew prior to signing up to the tournament. This is how it would go, and everyone did what they needed to do. They continued to play hard. Gallaudet did, their best as far as bringing the series to 5. It's going to be tough. It doesn't matter what team it is lining up against Northwood. That's a tough hill to climb, right? And so, Gallaudet, we tip our cap. GG's, thank you for playing. But that's going to conclude round 1, Bass. Any thoughts as we move into the rest of the tournament?
Well, if you enjoyed that, get ready. We've got more Collegiate Rocket League action upcoming, and I think that in our second round, we're also going to get a preview of some brand new teams. I'm hearing rumors we might be seeing Boise State, the former CRL champion runner-ups, versus the brand new Maryville team that has just been assembled. A brand new squad, 2 brand new players on there. So, Hootie, I'm already ready for round 2.
Absolutely. So let me, I haven't mentioned too much about this. We got right into it as the stream began, but I do want to talk about this tournament format. It is a 16-team invitational. It is a single elimination, brutal format. You get one opportunity, one best of 5. You lose, you go home. You win, you stay alive. We've got a cash prize for our first and second place teams. $1,500 to first place. That's $500 per player. A nice little prize. Second place is going to take home $1,000 as well. So we've got a nice reward here for our participants, our competitors, when they find that success. But I do want to mention as well, there's more prizing. Easter Seals is pushing for teams, a team's challenge for fundraising and followers. Logitech earbuds to the team that drives the most social followers to the ES Gaming Discord, Twitch, and Twitter using their G4A hashtag. And the team that raises the most for Easter Seals will win a prize as well. We got all kind of fun stuff happening here on the Game4Access Collegiate Invitational with ES Gaming, powered by Easter Seals. We are going to take a short break, and we got a video that I want to have you all take a look at. To kick off this break, we've got a message from Matt Iceman, the host of the American Ninja Warrior. That's sick. Big thanks to the team at Easter Seals SoCal. I want you to stay tuned to hear from Mike the Quad and meet the rest of the Easter Seals ES Gaming stream team to get their POV on inclusive spaces, Last but certainly not least, check out the Rise team in Easter Seals, Northern Indiana. We've got some awesome information here. Stay tuned. Check out this short break, and we'll be back in a moment.
Hey guys, Matt Eisman here. Now, you might know me as the host of American Ninja Warrior, but you might not know that I'm a gamer. And one of the things I learned recently that really shocked me is 1 in 5 gamers identify as having a disability, but there's still not widespread access, widespread inclusivity to make people feel welcome in the gaming world. Now, my friends at Easter Seals have created ES Gaming. It's a community space for people with and without disabilities to come together and connect through gaming and conversation. One of the things we've learned on American Ninja Warrior is we have people from all walks of life facing physical challenges or emotional challenges or any of the challenges life can throw your way. And one of the things that always impresses me is when those stories are on, countless people reach out and say, that's my story. And they talk about the importance of seeing themselves on a show like ours. So let's do the same with gaming. If you want to learn more, visit esgaming.gg or join their Twitch channel at twitch.tv Game4Access. Let's be a part of the solution. I'll see you out there, probably on PlayStation 5.
Hey, what's up? My name is Mike. I go by Mike the Quad online, and I'm a member of the Easter Seals gaming stream team. I joined Easter Seals Gaming because I wanted to spread awareness of the diverse spectrum of gamers with disabilities. And I found a great community of gamers that I can call friends. We understand each other from our experiences with disability, and gaming with them is always a blast, especially when we get a win. But what's bigger than a win is that we all strive to include everyone, because when everyone can game, we all win. So check us out on our Game4Access Twitch channel, where you can tune into streams, events, and conversations. We're live every week. Also, you can join our Discord, where we have a community of disabled and non-disabled gamers. Find some friends, squad up, and see what the latest gaming news is. See you later.
What does inclusivity mean to me? It means that we try to work together to make those spaces more welcoming from the get-go.
Designing things to be used by everyone.
People being able to enjoy gaming with their difficulties minimalized.
Being part of what people think of when they think of their target audience, their target friends, their target everything.
And being able to have it that they are accommodated for. And disabled gamers definitely have a space in the public to not be ashamed of who we are.
I think Easter Seals Gaming can make a big impact with the gaming community, which I think helps a lot of people see that there's not only one way to play a game.
And to just have a voice in the community where it shows off what we can do and what we can accomplish.
And showcasing what has already been created so that it can be improved on in the future.
I think ES Gaming is a voice for disabled gamers. And I think, that's what we need.
We're not necessarily here to talk about whether something should be accessible or not. We already all agree on that.
Being disabled is not ever a bad thing or a shameful thing. It's not something that we should hide.
3, 2, 1, go.
Let's do it.
My name is Nicholas.
My name's Erica with an A.
My name is Cody.
Hi, my name is Aubrey Stackhouse. I am the boss of the camera, so it's always gonna be me.
My name is Paige Hart. I am the esports coach for Easter Seals Rise in Angola.
I've been playing Fortnite for about a year now.
I got a Xbox One at home and I play a lot of Fortnite.
I started to play video games since I was 8 years old, and I played with my brothers when I was about 11, and I've been playing ever since.
It was my least favorite because I went backwards instead of forward. I should have started backwards and then forward.
Plus I play a lot of Halo too.
My stepdad got me into gaming. He actually has a developmental disability, and so a good bonding activity for him, between him and my sisters and I, was to play video games together. So we started out on Nintendo, playing like Mario Party and Mario Kart a lot.
I'm into like photo art. I'll take pictures and I'll post them on TikTok or I'll post them on Facebook, and they're really fun to do.
And the game I'm playing right now is Destiny 2.
Whether it's gaming or everyday stuff or helping people with their problems, I like helping people. That is what I've always been passionate about.
Because I like to put my face right on the screen and be like, hey, it's me again, welcome back.
But I was playing a lot of video games when I was hanging out with my brother and my nephew and my nieces.
Follow us on Twitch, on YouTube, on TikTok, anywhere that you see my face on there. You better be there.
Make sure you follow us on Twitch.
You better make sure to donate. We might come after you.
All I could say is, let's go team.
I can't think anything else.
Disability is a very much labeled too often, and the fact that when we say that disability isn't scary, ableism is. Disability is scary because we come out in this world and we expect to be loved, when in reality we get dismissed.
Whether it's gaming or everyday stuff or helping people with their problems, I like helping people. That is what I've always been passionate about.
Because there's always going to be a little bit of negativity, and that's going to be okay, as long as you don't take it in the wrong way.
It's a lack of interaction that people may not have with people with disabilities. When you put on a headset and get into a game, it doesn't matter who you are outside of the game, it just matters what you're doing inside of it. So I think really breaking down those stigmas that come along with that is something that is very, very important.
We can't let people step all over us just because we're mentally challenged. I don't care what people think of me. If they don't like what I post, then don't look at it.
When they're in front of the computer, they're like everybody else, and sometimes way more talented just because they're very familiar with their environment, they know what they're doing, and they're just very good at what they do.
But there's a lot of things that people don't realize that we do struggle with. Sometimes we even have struggling of self-infliction inside ourselves, wondering if we're really worth the time of everybody else because of what we think we are instead of what we really want to be.
People are just gonna be flat out mean, whether it's social media or gaming or whoever. But I've come to learn, just don't let it bother you. You keep doing what you're doing. If you are passionate what you love, then you know you found what you're good at. If you try hard enough, if you give it the chance.
Welcome back to the Game4Access Collegiate Invitational. Hootie Hoo here. We got Bash with me over here. And what a banger first matchup. I want to talk for a moment about some cool stuff we got going on here. We are giving away an Easter Seals Gaming swag pack to 10 random people who join the ES Gaming Discord. You may be wondering, well, wait. How do I do that, Hootie? I want the free stuff. How do I do that? Let me tell you. ! Discord right there in the chat box. It's going to provide you with the ES Gaming Discord link. You can join right there. While we're on that note, why don't you go ahead and do ! Donate in the chat. You can check that Tiltify for this event. Support the cause. We've got another couple as well. ! ESG to provide you with an ES Gaming website link. And ! Easter Seals will provide you with a link directly to the Easter Seals website. And I do want to talk for just a moment. What is ES Gaming? I gave a little spiel earlier about Easter Seals, but let's cover what the gaming portion is. It's powered by Easter Seals, of course, and it's an initiative designed to create a fun and inclusive space for people with or without disabilities who can unite and connect through games and conversations. As I said, you can join that Discord and get involved. You can obviously follow this channel to support their motive as well. Subscribe to the channel. If you got a Prime, I know we got some Amazon Prime accounts out there. Link your account, subscribe to the channel, and support as well. And you may be wondering, why is ES Gaming needed? While the industry has made strides toward increasing inclusion, much needs to be done to include and represent the 1 in 5 gamers who have a disability. There's often a lack of gaming accessibility options. Accessibility is not an afterthought, but more accessibility means more inclusion, more people gaming, and that's what we want. More folks competing. We're going to head over to the bracket and take a look how all of round 1 unfolded. Bass, what are we thinking here?
I'm thinking that all the matchups are about to get not only more intense, but a lot harder to predict. Round 2 is where we start to see some of the heavyweights of CRL, of Collegiate Rocket League, face each other, including the matchup that we've got ahead of us in Boise State versus Maryville University. Now, both of these are CRL West teams, but where it gets interesting is that Boise State, as we mentioned before, are the CRL Championship runner-ups. So the team that we just saw in Northwood, that is the team that they had to beat in order to get their championship, versus Maryville, which is a new team to CRL, which has already gone through some crazy changes. Last semester, this Maryville team was only one of the 3 players you will be seeing here on the pitch today. The new additions in Buddy and Adam are about to make this series relatively, and well, actually not even relatively, extremely exciting.
Yeah, this is going to be intense. I mean, we've got 2 heavy hitters here, and like you said, typically these kinds of teams link up maybe in the semifinals or the grand finals of events, but they're linking up here in the very second round. Woozy is going to be the first to strike. Boise State on the board, 1-0 with 4:30 on the clock.
And this is a player I want everybody to pay attention to throughout this series. Woozy has been one of the most impressive players on Boise State. We did a power ranking of all the best players in all of CRL, and although I will say the methodology on how we power ranked, because it was a cumulative one, I maybe disagreed with. But I didn't disagree when we saw Woozy got ranked 2nd overall out of all collegiate players in the entirety of CRL. And you guys are about to find out why. This kid is disgusting on offense. He is a threat no matter where he is on the pitch. There's though similar idea. Woo! Flip reset! Almost proven exactly why this Boise team is so talented.
And they're off to a hot start here, not wasting any time. We do see Maryville with a nice press down. We got a little bit of a disruption there from Knight on his rotation back. And Bass, I'm just going to take a little detour here and talk about something. I always pay attention to car designs. It's one of my favorite aspects of the game. You know, I was a big-time trader when I first got into it, RIP trading. What is the deal with this Radossin trend? You know, I thought it was a meme.
I don't know.
And I thought he was having a good time, but everybody's on the wave. What is this?
So you guys will see this in a second here. It's one of the players off of Maryville on defense. It's this sort of like pinstripe effect. I think it's Knight, right, as the player who currently has this in the lobby. And I'm going to be so real, I don't know, because I've seen this car design for forever. I remember when it came out on the Rocket Pass, and we all went, okay, I guess that's, you know, a design. Then all of a sudden, one player wears it at the World Championship, and now everybody's like, oh yeah, this is what's hot. This is the new design for all of us. And I don't necessarily agree with it, and I don't necessarily agree that it's producing results here. As Maryville, 2 minutes into this game, the decals aren't exactly helping them out.
While I am not a fan of the design, I will say I'm a fan of the players expressing themselves in different ways. I like to see that. Knight in the goofy boost car design. He's going to get an opportunity there. He does try for the backboard. Maybe a pogo clear from Durtho there. I love seeing these mechanics being evolved, I guess, you know. Like, it definitely was something that was strictly an attack strategy. Here recently in the qualifier, we saw Nass use it as a self-pass strategy, and now Durtho there trying to tack it on as just one extra touch as he tries to escort that ball out of defense. One of my favorite things about Rocket League is just the creativity that it allows mechanically. Players get to, continue to evolve mechanics and use them in new and different ways. Always one of the incredible things about these high-level players. They're so creative.
Ooh, Preston, I'm going to say maybe not creative there, but brute force and a little bit of creativity, saving that extra flip until the very last moment, and launches Boise into an offense of their own. Can they do anything with it, though? With 2 minutes to go and only a single goal lead, I'm not going to say that this game is guaranteed, not by a long shot, as Maryville have barely even shown us the capabilities of their offense so far. Uzi is going to prove why I shouted out his name before. Dunk on the line, denied by Adam. The offense still flourishes here as demos fly about. The defense just trying to find some sort of structure. Preston making that difficult with a 50 out center. Adam there to receive and nobody there for the rebound, meaning Boise State, although they are taking away seconds off this clock, not finding that guaranteed second goal that'll send them to a Game 1 victory.
Maryville losing time here. I mean, closing in on the final minute here. It is a best of 5, so they got a little bit of time, and losing Game 1 is definitely not the end of the world, but I'm certain that they would like to take this to overtime and at least have a stab at it. Big clear there from Buddy. Knight going to be the first to it. Will find Buddy on the side. A little bit of an awkward position. It's going to slow down the play, but Maryville will maintain possession for the moment. Keep it locked here in the corner. Durtho up quick with an extra touch. Sends it out center, but Buddy will be the first to it. Pops it high. Adam this time going to win the race to it. And that is an overcommitment. Boise actually not going to have anybody to follow that play. Buddy, with a big miss in the corner, will provide Preston with a free opportunity. Buddy off the sidewall. Uzi up early to send it back to the orange side. Knight. Out to a teammate, Adam. Dispossessed by Durtho, and we hit this 30-second mark. Durtho drops it central. Adam sends it high. Woozy now into the corner. A smart play. He's going to drop it back to a teammate and pick up that full tank of boost. Knight with a booming clear. Adam up very early. Misread the trajectory of the clear, and now Woozy will dunk that into the orange end and put in a second goal, and that's going to lock it up. Boise State will take Game 1 in the series.
That was such an impressive play throughout the final minute or two there from Boise State. They really weren't pressing any of their offenses. They were just guarding midfield, preventing Maryville from finding any offense of their own. And when a team like Maryville is down 1-0, they're going to get eager. They're going to try and force the issue rather than wait for an opportunity to arrive. And as they dive further and further into offense, it's more and more opportunities for Boise. Just find that extra goal and close out the game. And indeed they do. They keep it in shutout fashion, 2-0. Maryville losing the first game on stream with their debut team. Boise may still be the Kings of the West after all.
I got to be honest, Bass. I very loosely keep up with CRL. You know, I see some of the big results, but I don't have the time to watch it each and every event. And this Boise State team, I feel like they are just such like a shining example of a real team. It's not 3 standout individuals. It feels like they really work together. They've got a good system there. They've got big-time support from that university. I know that they put a lot into it. They've got Coach Wayton there. I'm sure many of you know Wayton Pilkin, big-time content creator in the Rocket League space, a bright mind. And that system that they've built, that environment that they've built, it is a championship environment, and they are really bought in. And as I said, you know, as someone that comes from the competitive sports world where it really is always about a team, especially in, you know, youth sports, high school sports, etc., it's very rare to have one player just kind of carry a squad. We see that occasionally in the Rocket League world where you've got that one superstar and a couple players that are there to back it up. It doesn't feel like that with this Boise State squad. It's a very balanced an attack, very balanced defense. They're there to cover for one another, support one another, and enable one another, and they do it to perfection.
I mean, that's kind of my favorite thing about this Boise State squad is that they are, A, like you said, so cohesive, and B, they do lean into that team aspect for a number of different things. One, I don't know if have you ever seen the facility in which this team plays out in Boise? It's crazy. I've actually casted a LAN there, and it was awesome to see because it's not only the facility where they've got multiple setups for any of the players to play on, they've also got a LAN stage, oh my goodness, where the team competes in every tournament. And apparently he gives them some coordination buff, because what a passing play.
Wow, Dirtho, what a touch. And that's it right there, Bass. That is the perfect example of the selflessness. Dirtho knows he's not scoring that. He also knows that if he lets that go through, it's definitely going to be swept away by one of the defenders. So he just taps it softly. Both defenders go flying by, and then Preston sweeps in for the easy tap in. Boise State up 1-0, and they're off to a great start. Really kind of making us look good with the team play to start out game 2 after we've been praising them for being such a cohesive unit.
Well, the good thing is I guarantee you Boise will give us more good plays that'll show how good they are yet again. They're backing up everything we're saying, but it's not as if we're really exaggerating the point. This is just how good this team has been throughout the season. Again, another thing to talk about, we said, runners-up to the CRL championship. Yeah, runner-up is great! So is that double touch. I'll go back to complimenting Boise in a second. I gotta give Maryville their props. This is disgusting.
And see, the thing is, Adam, that's a great double tap setup, but Boise had 2 defenders in net. They had that top right corner covered. They had the middle, bottom part of the net. So Adam could have tucked it into the bottom right or the top left. He had very little to shoot at, and it's not easy to place those double taps, but a player like Adam is going to find a way. He pops that to the left side and puts Maryville on the board. Just over 60 seconds gone for game number 2. We're tied up 1-1. Maryville off to a much better start as they threaten early in game 2. Knight off the sidewall. Woozy up very quick, and that's something you noted early. It was his aerial prowess. Woozy, a quick player. Definitely going to be a challenge to get the ball by him in the air. And we know that the duo of Adam and Knight are very aerial-oriented and quick players. We saw that on display there with Adam's double tap. Soft shot towards the target. We do have a little bit of a traffic jam in the corner between Adam and Knight. It's going to provide an opportunity for Woozy to take things out to the midfield.
Adam, their big miss, though, and it kind of feels like Maryville. A lot of prep, not a lot of follow-through right now. They're doing a good job at countering the midfield style that we talked about from Boise State before, of where they really lock their opponents into their half. Just don't give them options. The issue is, you can't get over-aggressive when you play this style, because look at the defense as it now just flounders around, trying to find a way to stop Boise on their merry way. And it actually kind of works out.
The patience, too, Bass, as they get that offense set up.
Oh, no.
Oh,
no.
I mean, what a slot from Adam. That is the perfect shot to the top right corner.
It's a beautiful shot. I just didn't think that it would ever make its way in. And honestly, I don't think Preston did either. He kind of, I would say, backs out of the commitment there. He goes to the bar, goes to the save, thinks it's not going to go on target, and decides to readjust. And then it's in his net. Gotta be careful here, Boise. I know you guys believe that you're at the advantage right now, but you give Maryville some extra confidence and room to stun like this, you might get punished. Adam looking for the dunk, cannot find it.
Woo! And we called it out earlier. The 2 on this Maryville side, Knight and Adam. And no disrespect to Buddy, but I know that those 2 love to get up into the air. They love those resets, the double touches. They want to flex those mechanics, and they have the talent to do so. Knight looking for the ground double touch. Not going to find it. Preston will clear it away. Adam will challenge there in the midfield. But a dunk from Preston will push them back a bit further. Knight, plenty of time. He will collect this. And you know where he's going. Into the skies. Dirtho knows it too. He's up quickly. Adam with a big booming clear. But Woozy, as confident as ever, will sweep that to a teammate in the corner. Preston sizing up the defense. Lofts one central. Dirtho challenged by Knight. And we've got a little bit of a stalemate between the 2 teams. Both of them putting together some good presses, good attacks, but also the defense on both sides. Positioned well. Composure on display. Some patience as well. I think both teams realize we don't really have, you have Maryville that doesn't need to score that third, but you also have Boise State that is trying to be patient. They know if they overextend and give Maryville that third, that's probably going to lock up game number 2. So just a slight back and forth. We're going to see who cracks first.
Shot on. Dirtho not going to get it through. Maybe on the rebound, a good pass out. Still not going to be enough. Boise We'll say the patient playstyle that we've been so complimentary of has been fun to watch. It's not very effective right now. Feels like they're waiting for their opportunity. That could be it! And I don't know if this is an intentional miss. I don't know if it was just circumstance. Either way, the fake out, it does work out.
Oh, look at that. I didn't realize Preston got bumped just a bit by the defender that was falling to the ground. And you're right, it did end up essentially being a fake. Allowed the teammate to sweep in and find that right side. And oh, I love this, the kickoff strategies, but Dirtho's keen to it. He's going to knock it central. And Preston, his shot just lacking a bit of accuracy. Dirtho goes high, but Buddy's perched up on the backboard and will clear it away. Preston, not the greatest read, but he at least will corral it to the side. Now Knight looking for the dunk. He's got it sitting on the goal line, and he will force it through. Knight gives Maryville the lead with the final 30 seconds on the clock.
And he dunked that through two players, Preston and Woozy there, and still neither one of them can seem to stop Knight. This is the only player on this team that's actually a reoccurring player from last semester. Maryville, before this semester, ended up playing with a completely different team. Knight decided to stick around, though. Well, he's proven why he stuck around, and he might prove it again here as another offense launches. Boise State equal to it. 20 seconds to go. They have to stay equal to everything that Maryville are going to throw at them. Even if the shots do go off target, they're not out of the woodwork yet. Especially as more pressure piles on. Dirtho, side corner, needs to get something started here. Can't even make contact. Knight trying to prove his worth yet again, and everybody on Boise trying to as well. They're bumping into each other. They're colliding, just trying to find a way off the half. They didn't find it, but they do find a potential extension. Not for the ball hitting the ground. 2-3, Boise not going to hold on to their one-game lead. We're all tied at one apiece as we go into the third.
And that was a tight game number 2 there. I imagine the remainder of this series is going to be super exciting. Both teams kind of settling in. We do see a card change there from Preston as he pops out of the lobby. Maybe going to jump into an Octane. I'm not sure. I know that it's typically either Octane or Finnick, right, Bass? And Knight, you know, maybe he's onto something with that car design. Maybe that is what provided that extra power as he shoves that ball across the goal line to give them that lead there in the final moments of game number 2. Either way, the series is level, 1-1. As we said at the beginning, it is a best of 5, so we're going to keep rocking and rolling. First team to 3 W's, they're going to be the ones advancing on to the semifinals.
I mean, look, it doesn't have to be pretty to get there. Like you said, it's not necessarily the best car design, but to be honest, he's kind of playing like the man that it's inspired after. Radisson isn't always the cleanest goals, but he gets the goals, and he'll brute force his way into any of them, and Maryville probably thinking the exact same thing. They don't really care if it is flip resets or double touches or these exquisite shots that earn them their bid into the semifinals. They just want to get there. And so far, they've done a little bit of both. The double touches off the backboard and the force through on the dunk on the line, both as effective. But can they do the same thing here in Game 3? As I have a feeling Boise's patient playstyle of the last couple of games, I don't think we're going to see that again here in Game 3. Oh? Ooh. That might just be open. Oh, this might.
Look at that. Oh, my goodness. So willing to pass. No, I didn't even think that there was a possibility to pass once more, but they put an extra one.
That's in.
Oh, my goodness. Look at that. I mean, it's just... I mean, it is what it is. These guys are just incredibly selfless. They're willing to pop that off the backboard. Look at Preston beating 2 players there as they urgently dive towards that play, trying to clear it. Preston understands the situation, knocks it central for a free shot there for the teammate. Boise State up 1.
That's kind of what we're talking about with the upping of the aggression here. Boise State were a team that even last year, people used to get annoyed at this team. And not because of that, it's like, oh, I don't like playing against them. They're just hard to play against. They would dive on everything. And although usually that's not that effective of a strategy, as Adam goes the other way and misses a flick, Boise State somehow seemed to always make it work. This team was so in your face that you never got a chance to breathe, and it really frustrated teams to no end. If they do the same thing here, I wouldn't be surprised. This team is one of the speediest teams in all of CRL, and as you can see, them dodging and chasing after demos on the back end, yeah, I think it's getting underneath Maryville's skin. Oh.
Maryville. Oh, shot off the post. Buddy was mid-dodge, unable to corral himself and get into position to knock that in, so that opportunity goes by the wayside. Knight Lofts one towards the target. A couple players miss, actually. Preston will be there to send it away. Uzi with the clear to the side. Buddy there. And just a ping-pong action here in the blue end. Back and forth. Knight unwilling to relent on the pressure. And a near post shot is off the target, but Buddy's there for the tap in. Maryville have tied it up.
And I think this might have actually been an intentional miss here. I want to watch this back to know for certain. Intentional or not, it actually was probably the better play. As Knight, he puts his shot off. It forces the defender in net to dive for it. As soon as he dives for it, nobody's left home. Boise State give up a goal in a little bit of silly fashion, but they make up for it. Woozy in a 1v2 at least forces the 50. Gets the offense started here for the blue side, but it is short-lived. Look at the retreat the other way, as now they have to play some defense with the shots. That they do, and that ping-pong action you talked about that was in front of the Boise net now kind of turns into ping-pong action back and forth as heavy touch after heavy touch ricochets to either part of this pitch. Oh?
And a freebie. Knight, no one back. Is it fair to say that this is fairly uncharacteristic of Boise State to be so aggressive and everyone pushed up the field? I mean, I don't see anyone on the blue end at all.
I'm wondering if that was off of a demo. I mean, I've seen them do this before, and I said that they would get more aggressive. What I was surprised by is that they did so off of a counter-attack. They had just been in defense only a couple of seconds before, so you'd imagine that when they send the house, somebody would at least be willing to step a bit behind and get prepared in case of a counter of their own. Apparently, they were not getting prepared for the worst-case scenario, and instead, they find themselves in it. 2.5 minutes to go. Preston's got to make up for this, and maybe Durtho can instead. Heavy touch off the ceiling will find its way to no other of his teammates, and instead, gives Adam a chance. Got a flip in the back, he'll save until the last second, but still not enough to get past the defense, and Woozy here, Boise State. 2 minutes to go. They're launching up even more offenses here, but Boise so far unsuccessful in many of their attempts. They need to get something going, and to stop Knight. This dude is on fire.
I'm just going to sit and watch this one, Bass. I mean, that is beautiful finesse. Wowza. Huge clear from Adam. Knight up super early. And just the softest touch is necessary as he drops it under the crossbar. Maryville up by 2. 2 minutes left, though. Plenty of time for Boise. And we've seen them put together some cohesive passing plays, some good pressure. They are going to have to be pretty efficient and effective in the final minute 45 here. Not much time left to work with. And, you know, teams at this level, when they build that lead, it's not too common for them to give it up. I think Boise State's going to have to earn it, cause some mayhem, some mistakes on the side of Maryville. And right now, they're struggling to even gain possession.
Durtho trying to get something started from the sidewall here, but instead it finds its way into the hands of Buddy and Maryville, who actually somehow see the lurking players get the demo. Boise's trying to get back to that nuisance play style I talked about before. You can even see it with Preston getting even more demos, just not allowing them a shot. It's opening up space, but they're doing nothing with it. Good example there as Knight intercepts it, and all of a sudden, they're back into their own half. Boise, need to see you guys be just a bit more effective right now. It just feels like you're getting all this build-up, and the follow-through is never on target. I don't know if Durtho just saved his own teammate's shot, but I don't think that was on target either way.
For a moment there, I thought they were going to get countered once again, but it makes more sense at this moment. I mean, the clock is winding down. They got to push forward and make something happen sooner rather than later. And it's going to be difficult. Maryville, cohesive on the defensive side. Buddy with a big clear is going to push Preston all the way to the backside. Can't put together a quality carry out from his own end. And the ball's just lofting around in the blue side, and that is not what they need. Preston to the center. Cut off by Adam. He does get a demo on the backside, but Adam's challenge is effective nonetheless. Sends it to the Boise backboard. Woozy looking for the double. Unable to make contact. Preston to Durtho, and that's going to do it. They're not going to be able to score 2 quickly enough. Maryville is going to take a 2-1 lead in the series. And Bass, to me, they just look more and more confident as this series unfolds.
And I think that part of that confidence is that they're starting to read their opponents a lot better as well. It just kind of feels like every time they dive onto the ball, it's not necessarily a, you know, oh, maybe we get contact here. They're playing every ball, just looking to get a 50, looking to do something to disrupt Boise State. And it's getting them uncomfortable. Again, you talk about it. I didn't expect to see all 3 of the Boise players dive fully into offense. That's not necessarily a a normal characteristic of the team to just give up goals like that, or at least it was like a year ago. This new roster, I thought that this had been an issue they had solved. Now to see it appearing against this new Maryville squad has me nervous that Boise might also be nervous. It feels like they're starting to get into their own heads. I know they've got a coach right next to them. They need to take this minute in between games, take a deep breath, talk to them, and figure this out. They're still capable. They just aren't proving it.
That's right. And I mean, I think you've nailed it. This Maryville, I couldn't think of the team name. This Maryville squad is just, again, looking more and more confident. The mechanics on display. Again, I want to highlight Knight and Adam as two superstars for this squad. Very quick players. They're up super fast. They have an immense amount of confidence, no hesitation in their gameplay. And I think that's causing some problems for Boise as this series unfolds. I do want to say that I imagine both teams probably had a little bit of calibrating moment as they started this second series. Like you said early on, they're going to be very evenly matched, very competitive series moving forward from round 2 in this event. And so as as Maryville got settled, it really looks like they have the edge, Bass.
They do, but can they keep it razor sharp? We go into our 4th game of the series, and if Maryville cannot close it out here, run the risk of Boise State finding their confidence again, sending us to 5. So, let's find out. 4.5 minutes to go. Boise already getting stuff started. Dirtho, props to you. Doesn't even believe that's in. He reads that bounce off the backboard before it even hits the ground.
Look at that rip from Preston, too. That pass across from Dirtho is very nice. And there's that team dynamic on display. 1-2, right back to you. That's something that we see in basketball. You see it in soccer as well. Quick tiki-taka pass. Dirtho across to Preston. Preston to the backboard, and Dirtho there for the finish. Boise State putting on a clinic here to start game number 4. Can they ride that wave of momentum? Preston off to Woozy to the backboard, and he has the double. What a narrow angle to work with, but Woozy can slam it home.
Narrow angle? I don't think there was an angle. I think this was negative, basically. How on earth, Woozy? That might have been one of the best double touches I have ever seen in Rocket League, let alone Collegiate.
Wow. What a statement there for Game 4. Boise State not going to lay down and concede. They want to fight until the very end. They want this to go to 5, give themselves a real chance to take this series and advance on in the tournament. Bass, they probably want some cash.
Oh, yeah. It's a long offseason, man. I know that this team just earned some cash. They were actually able to, as a university team, qualify for money in the last RLCS qualifiers. So, already impressive enough. But you know what's even better than earning money once in a singular week? Earning it twice. So if they can do it again here, I think Boise's going to be pretty happy. And honestly, I can understand why. If they keep playing like this throughout the series and throughout the day, I'd be pretty happy too.
Big dunk there from Knight. Dirtho will collect. Nice and composed. Does have the reset. He's going to pinch it around the next attack. Knight disrupted there, but he will recover. He doesn't have much boost to work with. He's able to apply a challenge there to Preston. Now Woozy looking for the pass. Not going to be able to generate much from that opportunity, from that possession. Didn't have much boost to work with, but he will keep the press alive for Boise State. Preston in the corner after stealing that boost. He's going to keep this in a threatening position. Now Knight will actually collect. He's got it past 1. He might have that dodge as well. Oh my goodness. Knight, that was a very delayed use of the dodge. I feel like you typically see that flip reset used almost immediately, and if not immediately, soon after, but he held that a long time as he fell back down to the ground, scooped it up. But nonetheless, Boise State defense stands strong. Adam looking to muscle this through a couple of oncoming challenges here in the corner. Preston in an awkward position. He and Dirtho team up for the clear. Buddy will take control up the backboard. But a clearance from Preston will buy a little bit of time and space for Boise to reset.
Dirtho gonna try and see if he can get something started for his team, and a couple of demos should completely clear the lane. And all of a sudden, remember we talked about, Boise State maybe needed to be a bit quicker on their defensive transitions? Maryville, I might be saying the same about you guys now. I
love it. We got one player up the field, disrupting that final defender. We've got one player outplaying the oncoming challenge. And then we've got one player, I don't know if you saw this, Bass, but he went up and then got those comms from Dirtho. Dirtho said he was going to have a secondary touch, so he backflips out of that aerial, comes back down to the ground. And it's a good thing he did, because after Dirtho outplayed that oncoming challenge, the player that bailed out was there for the easy tap in. Boise all 3 players involved, and they put that 3rd goal on the board. Now they got 2 minutes left to hold. 2 minutes is a fair amount of time for Maryville to work with, but I have to say, if Boise stay disciplined and they stay cohesive as they typically do, I think they're going to hold this 3-goal lead.
And you can really see the big difference with the way that they're playing midfield. Notice how whenever they launch into offense right now, they're holding somebody back. In this play, I believe it is Preston as Durtho and Woozy dive in. Preston actually is trying to hold himself back. He was getting bumped by Adam all the way into the other half, so a little bit of involuntary offense out of him. But outside of that, you can see they really are holding somebody there to make sure that any counterattack is completely thwarted before Maryville can start to develop an offense. And it's getting frustrating. It's why you see all of these bumping plays out of Maryville. They just want some space to work with. They want some room to breathe. Unfortunately for them, Boise's giving them none of that.
Shot ripped from the midfield by Adam. He's not going to find any holes in this Boise State defense. Like you said, they are a well-coached and a disciplined and cohesive team. They've got a game plan, and they're looking to execute it tonight. A creative shot will have the Boise State defense jumping, but they send it away. They got 50 seconds left to work with. Knight with a pass across, and no one's there. Woozy's going to intercept, send it to the backboard. Durtho with an extra touch, drops it in the orange box. Buddy, with a quick recovery, will get one to the corner, safely away from the oncoming attack from Boise, and a shot from Buddy. A secondary touch as well. Whether it was intentional or not, it was nice. Durtho will collect, though. And with 30 seconds left, you really get the feeling that they've got to put this in right now on this press, or it's probably not going to happen. And they do. Buddy with a 0-angle redirect. I mean, he snuck in this play from behind the defenders. Look at him. He's in the net right now. Adam puts it towards the target. Buddy, that is a fantastic shot. And while he's close to the target, Bass, you know that is a difficult shot to execute.
And the difficulties, though, only starting for this team. As great as that 1 goal is, they now need 2 in just about 20 seconds. Kickoff, though, does go in their favor, if not for a Woozy, who's diving very early, and a Preston on the backboard who will prevent the follow-up. Just like that, I think that they have unfortunately missed their window of opportunity. Not enough time left in the game, maybe one for the road to give them some confidence, but they will see a Game 5 regardless. Boise State, a huge statement here in Game 4 to show that they are not done yet. Maryville, your new squad is formidable. Can you take down the former West champions?
Well, well, well. You said it once we got to round 2, Bass. It's going to be competitive. They're going to be tight, and it's going to be hard to predict. This is a very level series. And you know, this is one of my favorite things about Rocket League. That momentum. It's like a pendulum. Boise State, Maryville, Boise State, and now we are here in Game 5. Who is going to secure that momentum moving in? Who strikes first, Bass?
I'm going to be real. I think it's been Boise in almost every single game. I think they scored first in the first one, obviously, because it was a shutout. I believe they scored first in the second one, but I know that they scored first in the third. Even if they did lose, they scored first in that game as well. So Boise kind of showing that momentum that you keep talking about, the pendulum that keeps on swinging, they might be able to dictate where that momentum flows in this 5th game if they can get an early goal. That being said, they kind of have to. I don't want to see Boise go back to their less confident play style. When that happened, you saw them. They were jumping at random balls. Their defense didn't look as cohesive. They would double commit. They need to be careful here. If they play just as rotationally based as they did in that 4th game, that series can be theirs. They slip up here in Game 5. Maryville will happily take a spot in the semifinals.
Maryville with possession here. Woozy will actually dispossess right as I say that. Durtho's going to sweep in. Not sleep in. He's not asleep. He's definitely wide awake. He's going to put one towards the target. Buddy will remain goal side and sweep it to the corner. Boise State not willing to give up possession just yet. That pinch will head out into the midfield, and Preston does get bumped off of it. Woozy steps forward quickly. Boise, again, just exercising patience. They are such an intelligent squad. You know, the way that they move around the field in position, it definitely does feel like a unit. It feels like they're all on a string, right? And there's only so far that they can like stretch that string in different ways. They do such a good job of covering the field, covering the different threats that Maryville can pose. Right there, we see the opposite of that, where we have Knight and Buddy bunched up in the corner. And we see Boise with control. Woozy, the low 50, it bounces high.
Oh.
Buddy up early, worried about an oncoming attack, but there was no one there. Boise patiently waiting for that mistake.
Notice how they're also not double committing at all. Even if they have 2 players up on offense, one of them is calling the other one off, letting them lurk that midfield line like we talked about before. They're so good at locking down mid and frustrating teams in their attempts at developing offenses. Another good example is the demos now force Maryville back into a retreat yet again. Got nobody here for the follow-up. Dirtho's going to get here so early, and although the ricochet does send it back into the half, look how prepared he is. Like you said, I would say perfect rotations right now out of Boise, making it so difficult for Maryville to find anything. Even there, where you think, oh, Maryville should have a free clear, yet Preston almost dunks the ever-living daylights out of them.
And it sure would have been a tough situation for Boise State, or excuse me, for Maryville if Preston had got that dunk. And they may still be in a tough situation here. Woozy into the corner, but a big clear from Adam may find Buddy. Actually, Preston is one step ahead. Knight will take over, looks for the air dribble. Unable to gain much ground. Woozy's air dribble challenged by Adam, and that ball squirts over to the opposite side of the blue end of the pitch. And there we do see a little bit of a, I guess you can call it a double commit. Both players step forward and hit the same ball, but they do, I mean, essentially pinch it to the other end. Catch that Maryville defense off guard. Now we see both teams kind of reset, space out, and begin again. Preston looking to go down the sideline. He's bumped off of it, but Woozy sweeps in quickly. Now Dirtho there for the dunk. It's lofting ahead, above the orange target. Boise, it seems to me, Bass, they're beginning to slowly press a little bit higher up the field. Instead of allowing Maryville to move forward, they want to stop that thing there at the midfield and rather than pull back into their final third for defense.
And it's a lot of good build-up play, but the issue we've seen in a couple of different games so far here is that Boise State have such great build-up until the shot, and the shots aren't even really ringing right now. I can only think of a handful of shots that I've even seen throughout this game, despite them living in the offense perpetually. So they need to do something here. As great as it is that they've held off Maryville, and as great as it is that they've dictated pace of play, Maryville gets one good opportunity and makes the most of it. Doesn't matter how controlling you have been over the possession throughout this game. They need to do something. With 80 seconds left and shots still not even firing on target, something's got to change.
Bass, tell me if I'm alone here, but even though I'm not playing, as series wind down and no one scores, my heart rate just increases. I feel so nervous because you just get that feeling like whoever puts this ball on target first, they're going to be the one that sneak away with a win.
Sometimes I envy these players. Then you get into a series like this, and I don't envy them. I really don't envy Knight here, trying to not lose a 2v1, and actually it turns into a 2v2. Great recovery from Buddy there to intervene at the right time. Now, unfortunately for both teams, they've gotten down to what is probably the most stressful part of Rocket League. If you give up a goal now with under a minute to play, it will mean that everything you've done, all the other work, is for naught. And Boise, who have been at the advantage throughout this game, is going to sting all the more here. I really do feel that they should be not only winning this series, but this game individually. They've had so many chances. They need to do something with one.
Final 15 seconds. We got a slam from Knight to the far side. Dirtho, that's a dangerous touch, but Woozy in position to bail him out. We've got the final 10 seconds here. Adam with another loft towards the target. Dirtho sends it high. Buddy towards the target now. Adam looking to disrupt from an awkward position on the backboard. Knight looks for one final press. Woozy, just get this to the ground, my friend. You are in a stressful situation on defense. We go to OT for Game 5, folks. This is what you live for. It's all on the line. Knight up quick. Does have the reset, but so is Woozy up quick. Uh-oh. Adam in a good position. Preston being bumped, and Adam with the flip reset. 12 seconds in. Maryville secure the victory in Game 5 overtime.
You can tell off that dive up front, the midfield, which has been so locked tight, a single miss. And all of a sudden, that lock bursts wide open. Maryville in a 2v1 the other way. The lead blocker clears the lane. And they find themselves a bid into the semifinals. 1-0, an overtime victory. Yeah, that feels like exactly how we wanted that series to end. Apparently, by the way, it's not the only Game 5 overtime victory we saw here in the quarters.
Wow. I mean, what an incredible round there. We knew, and this is just how the tournaments go, as you get further and further into it, it's going to get more competitive. The teams, the levels of play, it just elevates the whole time. So we knew that was coming, but man, what a treat. Game 5 overtime. I mean, you can't ask for a better series. We are going to take a short break, and while we do, I want you to take a look at this piece of content. You may not know, but Easter Seals has supported veterans and military families since World War II. Let's check out what's going on with Easter Seals DC, Maryland, and Virginia, and a veteran named Mike. I also want you to see what's up with Easter Seals Greater Houston and their mental health services, which are crucial for active duty military, veterans, and families, and why every student should have every opportunity. And finally, Easter Seals enhances health and quality of life no matter your age. You're going to hear from Easter Seals Southwest Human Development, who want you to know that adaptive equipment helps kids develop new skills and have fun. Listen to that content during this short break, and we'll come back with some semifinal action for the Game4Access Collegiate Invitational.
My name is Mike Enzio. I've lived in Greenbelt, Maryland for 20 years. I was in the Army for 12 years. I spent 2 deployments to Iraq and 1 from Egypt. And I'm training to be a project manager for a landscaping company. When the doctor at Georgetown told us that Mikey was never going to be normal, that pissed me off. I've been in the delivery room before. I cut the umbilical cords before, so I knew what I was expecting. After the baby was out, I didn't hear any crying. The doctor came to me and she said that your son's very sick. He was born not breathing and his heart wasn't beating. I knew it wasn't good when they didn't let me see him. I've had many close calls overseas. Any day could have been my last. I was not prepared at all for my son's first day to be his last. It's okay. I was working 10-hour shifts, six some odd months, 4 or 5 hours of sleep. I've done it in the Army. I've done it in Iraq. I'm gonna do it for my son. There we go. Put him away. It definitely wasn't easy.
Where's the mommy? That's right. That's the mommy and that's the baby.
3 months later, my coordinator said, Mike, you look horrible. You look tired. We should really think about putting him in daycare. I know the director of therapy at Easter Seals. We should go talk to her. And the reason why we put Mikey in Easter Seals is because they treated every kid the same. Disability is way worse than Mikey. Some with absolutely no disabilities. There's no separation. The kids are together. That just did it for me. I knew that's where my son was going. I met Lisa Reeves when I went to go pick up Mikey at daycare. I had a tap on my shoulder and she actually said hi and was I in the military? I said, yes, I'm in the military. And she goes, well, do you have a job? And I was like, I am looking for something a little bit more stable. And she goes, well, we can help you out. And she gave me a card to the Veteran Staffing Network. And she goes, trust me, things will happen. I didn't even realize I was getting help while I was getting it. I got a call to have an interview with a CEO of a construction firm. They hired me on the spot and I was working the following Monday. I really feel like I'm building a career. Life's happy. When I'm at work, I don't have to think about if Mikey's safe. I know he is because I trust Easter Seals. I don't believe I'm a hero. People in Easter Seals, the therapists there, they're heroes. I never heard the words, these are our normal kids, these are our non-normal kids. These people take a lot of pride in their work. They're not helping Mikey for themselves. They're helping Mikey for Mikey.
My name is Dr. Christy Gomez, and I'm a clinical psychologist as well as the clinical coordinator with the Military and Veteran Family Program. So we provide mental health services to veterans, active duty service members, and their family. We do that individually, groups, couples, and families. So we have financial coaching, we have respite, because everybody needs a break sometime. We have a dog program, Service and Companion.
My name is Celeste Potter, and this is Ryan Potter, my husband, and our Go-Go Gadget. We've had her since March. My doctor had wanted to put me on to some antidepressant medications because I was having a lot of personality things that I had never had before in terms of my anxiety. I was diagnosed with PTSD because of an injury that I had. It's been an amazing experience. The comfort piece has been huge.
We offer camps, which we really love because we get to bring the families out and they get to have fun, sometimes for the very first time in their lives, together. Qualifications for us is really, really easy. All you have to do is have served. It doesn't matter what your discharge is, it doesn't matter how long you served, it doesn't matter when you served. We want to serve you because you did serve.
Hi, I'm Christy Carlisle, and I'm the director of the High School High Tech program.
High School High Tech is an intervention program that's a collaboration of teachers and students and businesses and specialists who really work with helping a high school student who has disabilities achieve graduation and then try to make plans to go on to higher education or employment.
The main goal is to help them stay in school. Only 55% of high school students with disabilities are known to graduate from high school. We work with high schools directly. We have mentors, we have volunteers, we have local colleges, we have businesses. We set up summer internships for our high school students. Some of the things that we work on with these high school students is helping them learn how to write a proper resume, how to interact when they're in the interview process, how to dress when they need to meet a professional, how to communicate in a professional setting. We give them skills that they'll need to use while in high school and after high school.
Hi, my name is Matthew Stevenson. I have been in the High School High Tech program from Easter Seals, and I am a recent college graduate of the University of Houston downtown. My favorite part about Easter Seals is they are a company that prides themselves on accessibility and making sure everyone feels loved, cared for, accepted, and wanted, and they have a place to turn to when they need it.
The activities that they do are so amazing. For a lot of the kids, it's the first time to get to engage with professionals from different kinds of businesses, to learn about what job opportunities might be. They go to NASA, they go to MD Anderson, they may go to a factory, and they learn that at MD Anderson you don't have to just be a doctor. You might be able to be a lab tech, and you might want to work in food services. So it gives everybody kind of a view of what their future might be. What we find for so many of our kids who are in high school who have disabilities is that people have low expectations of them. It's unfair, and it also robs our community of their gifts and talents.
We help them achieve things that normally teens don't achieve till way past high school. And we're giving them the opportunity to achieve them in high school so they can get it into their system and learn how the real world works.
If you want to learn more about High School High Tech, please go to our website at eastersealshouston.org and look for High School High Tech. We'd love to have you join us.
Up, 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 push, 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 push. Push, 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 push.
Any child with a physical disability is probably going to have some adaptive equipment at some point in their lifetime, and that adaptive equipment is not available at a Walmart or a Target. And so if the family, is struggling with this child being able to sit up, and they've tried the, typical high chair, they've tried a booster seat at home, and it just does not work, then that's a time when they can come in here and we can look at, is there something that's commercially available that they wouldn't have access to at the Walmart or Target to look at, but we can show them what it would look like here, and then they can go through the process of getting it with insurance. Or if that doesn't seem like a good option, we can take measurements and talk about what would be the best for the child, try some things out, and make a custom piece of equipment.
Marley was born with bilateral radialoplegia, which means she's missing her radial bones in both arms and doesn't have any thumbs. Her arms are a lot shorter than your typical arms. So she got a bike, her first bike, but because the handlebars were so far away, she was leaning forward to ride it and not really able to see. So her physical therapist suggested the Adapt Shop. We had looked into things online, or at least I had, and they were all really expensive or seemed like they would be too big for, a 2-year-old at the time's bike. So we went to the Adapt Shop and they fabricated something for her handlebars as well as for her pedals to make it easier for her to ride her bike.
get this thing off the ground.
Goddamn nerds.
Now I'm a god.
We've got a hot one for you.
Nothing is over until we decide it.
Now I'm a god.
We've got a hot one for you.
You just got your asses whipped by a bunch of goddamn nerds.
Welcome back to the Game4Access Collegiate Invitational with ES Gaming. Hootie Hoo here, Bass with me. And we had an incredible series there. Game 5 overtime. As I said before the short break, what an awesome series. You can't ask for anything better than that. While we're here, before we jump into the next one, I want to shout out a couple of fun things that we're doing. Number one, we're giving away 10 ESG swag packs to individuals that are joining the ES Gaming Discord or following on Twitter. So go do those things right now. If you're wondering, how do I do that? I got you right here. There's a link in the chat. All you need to do is do !Discord. ES Gaming Discord link will appear. You can do ESG as well, !ESG in the chat. That's going to provide you with a link to the ES Gaming website. You can find all their socials on that. They post on Twitter and TikTok, all the places. We've got an !Donate. Check out that Tiltify link. Support the cause. We appreciate ES Gaming. And I want to talk for just a moment about Easter Seals and the impact that it makes in communities nationwide. Easter Seals is present in thousands of communities across the country, meeting local needs through customized community-based services. These are just some of the ways that Easter Seals is making an impact. They connect people to their communities. Air travel is exempt from ADA protections. Americans with disabilities do not have safe, efficient, and reliable travel options. Each day, an average of 31 wheelchairs are damaged when stored as cargo on airplanes by airline personnel or contractors. Last year, there were over 11,000 incidents of wheelchairs damaged. That is not good. We need to make some change there. So you can call to action. You can join your Easter Seals in making sure planes connect everyone to family, friends, opportunity, and possibilities by amplifying this effort on social media. Visit EasterSeals.com to learn more. Get involved. Make a difference. Bass, we have an exciting matchup here. Maryville, who we just watched on a roll, taking on Fisher. Talk to me a little bit about these squads.
Both of these are squads that are not only capable, but have proven themselves in many events past. We've been talking about CRL. We've been talking about the Collegiate Rocket League playoffs that we just endured through, I want to say, either November or December of last year. And both of these teams did make it in. If I'm not mistaken, though, I think they actually played not only against each other, but I believe it was Fisher who came out on top last time. I think it was the second round of playoffs. Yes, and it was a 3-0 sweep, meaning Fisher did not drop a game to these guys. However, that was with a different roster. Like we said, Maryville have leveled up a little bit. New additions in Adam and Buddy. This team is going to be a lot more formidable this time. In their rematch, will Fisher find the same result, or will Maryville find themselves a top 2 first tournament?
4:43 on the clock. Just to give everybody a quick update, we got Sosa, Money, and Kinsey who play for Fisher. Obviously, we see Adam, Knight, and Buddy take the field once again for Maryville. A fairly neutral start here between the two. 30 seconds has come and gone. And Maryville have been on the press and looking to see what they can generate. Money with a nice clear and a good collection there from Knight. Will allow him to send it down to the blue end of the pitch. First 60 seconds. As I said, a little bit of a back and forth. Both teams just testing, kind of feeling out what's going on, making sure that they are set and ready to rock. There's a miss there on the goal line, but the ball does just bounce across the face of the net. Buddy with control down the sideline. And there's a shot, but it's saved by Sosa. Another shot from Adam. It's off the post and out. Buddy chips high. He's not going to be able to fake. He's not going to be able to make that touch. He does fake it for a teammate. Knight with the pinch. Gets plenty of power on it. It's surging towards the blue side, but Sosa's clear. Down the field. We'll test Buddy on the orange side as well.
Goodness. It kind of feels like right now, Buddy waiting for somebody to make an error, to miss a touch. Really not seeing this. Both sides doing a good job at either keeping the ball close, like Kinsey is here, or he's preparing for the worst-case scenario. A good example is on the back end. Knight waited for the 50 to bounce out, and then eventually dove when he saw an oncoming attacker. The issue is that when it doesn't work out, that's an opening. First miss we see in the first goal that is scored.
Good control there from Sosa. Gets that initial touch, and a quick recovery. Lands those wheels directly on that sidewall. Is able to get back to it immediately. Sends it out to the midfield. Money's there for the tap-in. Fisher strike first. But it did take them 2 minutes. As we said, both teams kind of just settling in, not wanting to overextend, not wanting to be that first team to make a mistake, as you called out. And I think I think Maryville, even though they did concede, I think they have executed that game plan, you know. They forced Fisher to make a good play. Sosa with a nice pass to the infield. You know, sometimes that's going to happen, right? Boise State put that on display in the last series. You will concede here and there when you get to this level. But can you manage and can you punch back? We'll have to see as Maryville have half the game left to go.
Not exactly getting offenses of their own, though, unfortunately. Still forced back into their own half. Adam trying to change that up, but a redirect will get no further than Sosa, who just booms it to the backboard and into the back of the net. I'm a bit surprised, and I think so was Sosa. That's why he doesn't get a lot of power here, but no one makes contact. This is basically a freebie.
Oh. I didn't see that. Knight needed to make that touch, and he didn't. Sosa able to slot it to the bottom right. Fisher up 2, Bass. Is this what you were expecting? Do you think Fisher might have a slight edge in this series?
I mean, kinda. I think that, this is a team that has already done well. Fisher, another contender within CRL playoffs. I believe they finished in 6th overall. But, okay, that's a little bit more like it. I was going to say, I expected the new Maryville squad to be a little bit more of a fight. Air dribbles like this, yeah, that's maybe a bit more on par.
And there it is, that dynamic duo. Knight with an air dribble from the sidewall. Adam there to quickly follow it up and slam it home. Maryville cut that deficit in half. 2:10 left to play. Lots of time for them. They're going to take an immediate possession as well. Knight with a pinch. It does loft central. Kinsey will be the first to it. A nice read and air dribble. Tacks a flip reset on the end. But it's lacking some power, so Buddy will collect. Money is still after this ball, but he's got 0 boost, so Knight will take over. Flick past one. Only to the midfield. Sosa up to the corner. Kinsey back down to him. Sosa's shot is a bit wide, and Knight will sweep it away.
Touch off the sidewall, almost finds its way in, but not quite. It's Fisher, again, putting on pressure here, making it uncomfortable as Maryville, who I would say looked uncomfortable at times against Boise, but not like this. It just kind of feels like every play they try to develop, they're having to dive at it. They are rushing into every ball. I will say that's not too surprising. Fisher are a fast team. They are very difficult to play against, but against the Boise, that, as we mentioned before, the fastest teams in the league, you'd have to imagine they'd be a bit more prepared. How do you prepare for this on defense, though? Fisher get a touch on the ball, but the bump, too much for them to handle.
There it is, that aerial game on display. It is kind of messy there on the goal line. I think you could say that Maryville got a bit fortunate. It does cross the goal line. Either way, we're all tied up, and this is about what we maybe expected. Tight series once again, and as we continue to roll through this tournament, it's probably going to be this way each and every match. Fisher with possession. We've got one player up the field disrupting. Kinsey unable to chase down the target. Leave there from Buddy as Knight calls him off. A nice pass across, but Adam had already made the decision to retreat. Money will take over. Does get it past one. He's looking for the bump. Not going to find it. A secondary player up, but Kinsey holds to the back line, and he will collect. He's going to air dribble this across and just delay, allow his team to get back in position to defend.
Ooh, Buddy Mac forced them to defend here, as here comes Maryville for only about a second. One ball downfield will send them hightailing it into their own end, and fortunately for Maryville, this has been a lot of what we've talked about. This is a team that doesn't necessarily force pressure. They're not going to try and hold possession for a long time, just waiting for that one opportunity. But with only 20 seconds to go, they give that opportunity to Fisher. They won't even see an overtime. Money trying to do exactly that. Pass out center is intercepted by Buddy. Stay on the ball as 50-50s aplenty on either side. No one doing all too much with them until the hesitation. Maryville let this one linger in front of their nets when they definitely shouldn't have.
Look at that from Kinsey. That first touch is magnificent, getting that reset. That way he can threaten it, he can fake it, he can fall to the ground and catch it. He's got so many options, and he opts for the pass, knocks it central, and Sosa's there for the bang home. Fisher with 8 seconds left. They do have the 1-goal lead. Maryville with some kickoff shenanigans. Buddy with a possession. He does air dribble out to the blue side. Sosa in position, and he knocks it down. Fisher secure game one.
They do so in, I would say, relatively comfortable fashion. Yes, it was a 3-2 scoreline overall, but Hootie, be real with me. At what points in this game did it look like Maryville were the ones in control? The 2 goals that they do get are of a physicality in a defense which quite literally couldn't stop the shots. Outside of that, didn't really control possession. They didn't necessarily monitor that midfield as well as I would say that Fisher did. So, Maryville, you played a good game. I need to see you guys establish control, though. You need to take charge if you want to win a series like this versus Fisher.
Absolutely, and that Fisher squad is chock full of experience at all levels as well. You got Sosa, who has had all kinds of success, some ups and downs, of course, but that is a player that knows how to deal with adversity, whether it's roster changes, unfortunate circumstances regarding orgs even, and some tough draws in tournaments and whatnot. You've got Kinsey, who's been on the bubble for a while, as a 1v1 player as well historically, and has made his way up to the top. You've got Money, similar story. He's floated around the bubble. He's found himself in RLCS. All 3 of these guys are very, very comfortable in intense situations, and they're going to be able to rise to the occasion. Can Maryville match that composure? We'll have to find out here in game number 2. A fairly level start. Kinsey with a very awkward angle, but he sends that across the field. I don't think even his teammates were expecting that. They will bail back to the defensive side. Money cleared out of the way. Adam with possession. Gets a demo as well in the back line. Provides an opportunity, but Sosa will quickly retreat and head back to that goal. He wants to keep it protected. Nice read from Adam. Gets a couple of touches, and we'll keep this locked here in the midfield. Kinsey will do the same. Neither team really having full control or possession, just back and forth as they wrestle to collect things. This may be an opportunity for Money to catch. He does, but immediately, once again, challenged by the Maryville defense.
Got a chance here to now get some offense of their own. Not necessarily. That's way too heavy of a touch out of Knight and just kind of dishes it down to the defenders that are waiting in net. I definitely do feel like there's potential here for Maryville to score, but again, there's nothing threatening the defense. That might be the first chance as Buddy is waiting center for the pass that does arrive. Another pass arrives to Buddy and another shot from him. The defense still barely reacting to it. Fisher just planting one player on the line, and it doesn't matter how ferocious the shot is. They've been prepared for every one. What about this? Off the backboard, into contact!
What? That is not something you see often at this level. There was a ball floating in front of the target. A player was there, and they just missed.
Cody, I just feel for them right now. I'm not even, like, disappointed. I'm not even angry. I'm just sitting here going, oh, no, that's got to sting, and so should that, as now both teams have missed wide opportunities on either end. That has been an open net for an open net, and yet we're still 0-0 as we approach halftime.
And you know, Bass, the reason that we can feel some empathy, the reason that we know how that feels is because that's just regular for us.
Yep.
It's not, however, regular for these guys, and maybe they're going to clean things up. We are at the halfway point here in game number 2. Just a reminder, Fisher does have a 1-game lead here in the series. Buddy unable to collect that. A little bit too much heat on it. Kinsey with a flip reset. Sends it over the top, and it's on target with Buddy. With a quick diving save, will keep it out, and the scoreline's locked at 0 as we close in on the 2-minute mark.
Full Knight trying to open it up. He can't quite. The final touch there, just a little too heavy. Ricochets off the woodwork and out. I got to give a shout-out real quick to not only Maryville, but I would say Buddy in particular here. You've been highlighting Adam and Knight pretty much all day, and I think for a justified reason, but Buddy has had, in my opinion, the title of probably the most underrated player in CRL for so long. When he was on Northwood on their main squad, he was usually the third man for the team. People looked at him as probably not the primary player. He went to the roster, the B roster for them in Northwood White. People looked at him and went, still, maybe not the primary player. Every time he gets results, he proves that although he might not be the flashiest player, he is fundamental to the core. He is the glue that keeps the team together. He's doing that right now. Miraculous saves on the line, keeping them at this 0-0 scoreline. He's trying to get involved in offense as well. Unfortunately, thwarted there. With 70 seconds to go, I have a feeling the next goal we do see could be the decider. And Fisher, their demo chasing on offense, finally pays off.
Kinsey is who it was. I was looking up the field who was up there disrupting. Knight just had one option. He was going to have to play that ball as Money was shooting it near post, and Kinsey recognized where the challenge would have to come from. Knocks him out of the way. I don't think he got the demo, but he wasn't needed. Maryville tasked with tying this thing up. They've got 55 seconds to put one in just to take it to overtime. Will we see, will we see Fisher deploy a similar strategy of park the bus? There's an intelligent play there from Kinsey, forcing his opponents to come challenge. He's the one with the lead, right? He's going to let that clock tick away, and he's going to force his opponents to come make a play. 36 seconds here. Kinsey to the backboard. The double is on target, but Adam, positioned well, will keep it out.
Doing a good job on defense, but need to do something more here. Feels like Maryville still in that hesitant play style that you and I talked about. They don't want to overcommit, but at some point, gotta send the entire house. Could it be here? Knight in the corner, dishes it to Adam. Adam's got space, Buddy's there. Shot off target again! And Fisher might get away with highway robbery as a pass center finds no contact. And for the second time this game, Maryville with a tying goal within their grasp. And they just can't get it to hit the back of the net.
Well, hold
this
on.
one in the corner. Adam keeps it up. Oh, wait, it still stays up.
Oh, my goodness. Sosa should let this fall. Fisher, 2-0 up in the series. And a valiant effort there for Maryville to keep that alive at the 0-second magical mark. But Fisher just capitalize on the mistakes. Maryville had multiple chances, not just chances, but clear-cut opportunities that they should be putting home. And they didn't do it, and that's going to cost you at this level.
I don't know what to say right now. I am actually speechless at the moment here. Maryville have done such a great job at playing formidable Rocket League against their opponents. When it comes time for that final shot, it just hasn't been there. And, I mean, Hootie, you and I can reference the 2 times that they put it off target on what are more or less wide open nets, but that's not the only time that their offense was thwarted. Think about the passing plays they kept trying to create with Buddy in the center. None of them coming to fruition. This team needs to get creative. This team needs to do exactly what we said to Boise when they were in a similar position. They need to start finding ways to generate offense that controls possession and punishes on mistakes. They just aren't doing that right now.
They sure aren't. And when they do get those opportunities, unfortunately, they're sending it wide. And I just feel like this Fisher team is too experienced. You're not going to get away with that. You're not going to get a victory unless you are putting home every opportunity that you get. Not against a squad like this. Boise State, they put up a valiant effort in the previous series, but Maryville, maybe with a couple mistakes here and there, were still able to get that victory. Nonetheless, I don't think that's going to be the case here. They got a tall task ahead of them, a reverse sweep, and we know that is one of the most difficult things to accomplish in Rocket League, and especially at this level. But I think the Maryville squad definitely has a talent. They just got to clean up a little bit of their execution. Knight is going to look to get them off to a good start here. An air dribble. Adam's shot is a bit wide. Knight there to continue the press. Now Kinsey with an opportunity. He's going to let that fall to a teammate. Actually, Knight will sweep in, clear it to the side, and he is really turning up the pace of play there. Knight getting extremely aggressive and creative, trying to force something to happen. And you know, sometimes I think that can be quite helpful for your team, but at the same time, I think sometimes it can throw off the rotations. We'll see if they remain cohesive and fluid as a unit throughout Game 3.
Knight has done a good job, though, of really utilizing that aggressive first-man play style. For the 2 goals that the team does have throughout this series, although they are very few of them, he has assists on both of them. And for a good reason, that defensive miss, less of a reason there. Buddy, I thought, noticed, or not Buddy, excuse me, Kinsey noticed this one's off target and just doesn't adjust in time.
And that's what they needed. Maryville going to put their first one on the board here for Game 3. They've got to get off to a good start, build some confidence there. Hopefully hopefully for them, a little bit of a cushion to work with, maybe allow them to kind of settle in and calm down a bit. I think I mentioned that aggressive play style, and while sometimes that can be a thought-out decision, I also think that at times that can be a sign of desperation, a sign of urgency. But with Maryville striking first here, they should be able to, as I said, settle in, maybe calm down and continue to play more as a unit. Maryville's clear there on the back of Buddy's touch. We'll send Fisher back to their own end. We're seeing some lofty touches from both sides. No one really trying to control things, just not wanting to walk themselves into an awkward spot. Adam sends it high. Buddy's there off the post. Kinsey will collect. Flicks past one, but Knight will collect. Drop from Buddy to Knight. The shot is wide, but Adam's there for the finish. A 1-2-3 play, and Maryville looked like they took a note in the last series.
I can tell the passing plays here beyond fluid, and honestly, good follow through from Adam. I'm already reacting, thinking that shot might be going in. Adam, when he realizes it's not, he's jumping immediately. Good pre-jump there to get in front of the ball before the defense can react. Unfortunately for Fisher, got to figure out an answer here. Oh boy. Okay. Never mind. I was gonna try to continue my point, assuming Fisher would score a goal there. They do not. But back to what I was gonna say. The offense has been good for this team. They haven't shown it much this game. First time they do, and well, they get pretty dang close to a goal.
Halfway point. We got a disruption up the field. Kinsey clearing the way. Sosa will air dribble that at a very low altitude. Not really much needed there as Kinsey, as I said, disrupting ahead of the play. And just like that, Fisher will cut that lead down to 1. Lots of time on the clock here. We've seen a couple of different kickoff strategies from teams. Nothing special there. Buddy will clear that into the blue side. Kinsey will collect, and now he's got a little bit of space to work with and plenty of boost in the tank. He's just going to opt for the bump, leave that for a teammate who takes a shot to the near post, but Adam will sweep it to the corner.
Doesn't mean exactly out of the danger yet here, Maryville, as this one does go back into the Fisher half. Now they launch an aerial attack instead. Kinsey, this on the flip reset, not going to be enough. 2 minutes to go here in this game. It feels like Fisher finding more and more opportunities, and I think Maryville, unfortunately, giving them more of them due to the disruption from physicality here. And you can even see it's getting under their skin. Maryville will go demo chasing out of midfield despite not even having possession of the ball. They're just trying to keep Fisher away from this one. They know this team is threatening. They know this team is capable, and if you give them an opportunity, might just send us to an overtime. 100 seconds left. Fisher finally showing exactly what we said was their potential. You just need to do something with it.
Whoa! My goodness. He's in position, but he sure did cut that close. Sosa. Now it's a dive for that save. But this may be an opportunity. Clears it out to the middle. Kinsey unable to make the touch, but the fake may work as well. Money up the sidewall. Wants to hold on to possession. Doesn't have much boost to work with, and he will get demoed as well. Buddy with a long clear. Money in position. We got a double commit there. I think a little bit of miscommunication, but understandable as you're responding in. Always difficult to tell where you're going to be and what's going on around you. Money's going to get demoed again. Kinsey with a pinch across, but no one there as the final player was eliminated and pushed back to defense, but it works out in his favor as Money was needed on the backside to clear that oncoming shot away. 43 seconds to play. Fisher dealing with an onslaught here from the Maryville side. Some demos, some pressure, but they hold tight.
They do anything, though, now that they've got an offense generated of their own.
Uh-oh.
Money would like to think so. It's a beautiful pass out. Maryville have to be happy. And Knight even noticed that. Doesn't mean the job's done yet. More offense as Kinsey tries to muscle one through the goal line into the back of the net. Fortunately, though, that full send has retreated them into their own half. 10 seconds to go. They have to restart the offense again. Kinsey trying to get a pass out to Sosa. Too much power. And it rings across the backboard into nobody. As Maryville just need to let this hit the ground and they will have the game. Fisher determined to see otherwise. Pass out! Shot in! And Fisher send us to an overtime!
Whoa, Kinsey, the patience. Look at this. He timed this to perfection. He cannot let that hit the ground, and neither can Sosa. He slots it just out of reach of Knight, and at 0 seconds, we get some magic. Can Fisher complete the sweep? Let's head to overtime. Nothing crazy on the kickoff. We do see a demo. Sosa will control it. That's lofting central. Adam with a shot. Knight off the crossbar. Once again, the woodwork causing problems, but Adam with a quick rebound, a quick turn, and he'll put in a goal for Maryville. They're not done yet.
I cannot explain to you how happy I am that they won this game. Not because I necessarily want to see the series continue, not necessarily because I think that, I want to see an interesting series. I just think they deserve at least a game for the effort that Maryville have been putting in here. If they had another open net miss be the downfall of not just this game, but this series, I might have cried. Instead, we continue on into game number 4, and Maryville trying to get the reverse sweep, but man, they are making it as hard as possible on themselves.
They really are, man. I mean, they got the win there, but again, they still need to clean things up. This execution is lacking. Some of the positioning is lacking. I mentioned that it could be a sense of urgency or desperation, and maybe they shake some of that off as they stave off a sweep. They get that first victory there in the series. We'll just have to see as this continues to unfold, but right now I have to say that Fisher looks like a little bit more of a competent, complete package. They look like they are getting one another involved. They're disrupting the defenders of Maryville, and it doesn't feel as like an individual effort. It feels much more as a team, cohesive unit, and I think that is the difference right now for these two teams.
I would have to agree. It kind of feels like right now two teams are playing very different strategies, and although Fisher have all the flash in the world, we talked about it, these guys have extensive professional experience amongst all three of them. Sometimes it's more about how cohesive can you be? How can you play as a team? How can you punish on the mistakes? Fisher, come on now. You guys haven't been missing shots. I don't need to start trying to harp on you guys like I have in Maryville. Keep this clean. You have a potential to close out the series. Missing shots like that aren't going to help you.
Maybe it's contagious. Maybe they caught it from us, Bass.
Oh, boy. Woo! Good
Nice save from Sosa. Maryville not done yet. Money will clear it away, and now a quick transition, a 1-2 touch, and that's on target. Fortunately for Fisher, there was someone in position. Or excuse me, for Maryville, there was someone in position. Sorry about that. Clear out to the midfield, and Knight will control. Has the flip reset on his way down. He does get a bump as well. Plenty of players in position for Fisher defensively. And we see a lot of Maryville attacks working through the corner. We don't see too much infield. We don't see too much aerial gameplay or even, high from the sidewalls. I'm seeing a lot of just pressing through that corner. And I think while that certainly can be an effective strategy from time to time, using it too frequently, I think, and without mixing up your strategies, it's just a little bit too easy to defend, too I guess, readable is maybe what I'm looking for.
Mhm.
The Fisher side is not really being tested defensively. They seem mostly comfortable.
I mean, to be fair, Fisher aren't necessarily getting too creative on offense either. It's a lot of approaches that go straight to the air, and that's about all that they do with it. Reason I think they've been more effective in that strategy, though, is that they're looking for passes once they get up into the air. Once they do open up those lanes, they're looking for ways to connect. Here's a good example of how Maryville can do exactly that, but they now need a retreat. Hutch sends it to the backboard, but Kinsey's there to contain it and keep it in the half. Sosa tries to fake out Knight, but he won't bite. Instead, he'll get an offense of his own. He's trying to look a little bit like Fisher. I remember those air dribble bumps at the beginning of the series, and apparently so does Knight. He's trying to get one of his own, but a goal would suffice even if they can't get there. And uh-oh, that's an overcommitment. Is anyone there from Fisher? Not in time. Adam will keep it in the Fisher half, and my goodness, Maryville, they got to be careful. If they're going to send the house, they at least need to make contact.
Pace of play picking up as both sides feeling the desperation set in. Fisher wanting to secure the victory. Maryville desperately wanting to take this to Game 5. They know all they need to do is win this, and Bass, they'll be in the money. They want that grand finals.
Just want to see a good game, because right now, as great as it has been, considering that it's 0-0, kind of feels like somebody's got to pop off here. Seen it out of multiple players. They've scored some, I'd say, spectacular goals. But they need something to separate the two of them. Could it be this? Good bump from Buddy has made it awkward for Sosa, but even on 0 boost, he's able to anticipate the challenge, and it's a good 50. And again, this is what we keep seeing. As opportunities arrive, the defense on both sides have been so prepared for any opportunity. It just doesn't feel like space is being given. Even here, it might not be enough. Just barely it is, as Kinsey scores, but this initial recovery was crazy.
Sosa, composure down the sideline, understanding that him behind that ball and his position was a threat to Maryville. He hesitated, waited for the proper moment, took that 50 in a way that squirts out to a teammate, and Kinsey there for the shot. Maybe another for Kinsey. Fisher, they don't need to get over-aggressive here. They want to make sure that they just hold on to this lead. They'll certainly take a second goal, but they don't have to have it. The clock's going to do the heavy lifting for them. This could be an opportunity. Adam off the sidewall, but he is up very quickly, and he slams a shot to the far side. Beautiful execution from Maryville, and there's that creativity I want to see on offense. Adam lurking up the field after a missed challenge. Instead of trying to do something himself, he slams it off that sidewall, and Buddy will knock it home. We are all tied up, Bass, under the final 60 seconds.
There, the passing plays midair. Like you said, that's what we want to see. That's the variations that Maryville honestly need if they want to win this series. They also need to play some defense. They are so lucky that Fisher didn't recognize. They do this time, though. And honestly, I think they're surprised. You noticed, I mean, Sosa's literally sitting there going, really? Nobody's challenging me. Okay, and then eventually goes up. You got to be more proactive, Maryville. Do not start giving space to Fisher. You guys did this against Boise, and that's why the series went all the way to 5. Make sure play as aggressive, in your face, and as nuanced a play style as you can. Otherwise, chances like this might arrive off the backboard. Adam to clear it, but with 15 to go, Fisher have enough time for one more offense.
Oh, that's a great first touch from Money. Can he follow it up? No one touches. Kinsey and Sosa both up. Sosa calls him off. Tough read for everyone, and it just falls into the orange box. Knight will clear it away, and I think this is going to hit the ground. Kinsey able to provide a initial challenge. Money will actually keep this alive. Maryville may have an opportunity, but they'll agree to let it touch the ground. We go to overtime for Game 4. Fisher looking to move into the grand finals. Maryville looking to stay alive. Sosa with possession. Off the backboard. An awkward spot. Buddy with a bump, and Money will pull out of it. He's got an air dribble up over one. Fisher looking to establish an extended stay here on offense, but they're not going to be able to do it. Knight down the sideline. He's past one. He's got the full tank of boost. Pinches it across, but it's a bit too fast, excuse me. Not able to keep up with the pace. And now Maryville is stretched thin. Knight by himself on the back line, and Kinsey wins that 50. An opportunity here, but they scramble back to defense. The clear is lacking. Knight, fortunately for Maryville, the first to it, but we see a double commit there in the corner, and once again, Adam will clean up the mess. Knight has a nice opportunity here. He puts a double towards the backboard, but a clear from Fisher will send it out into the mid. Oh, no.
And that'll do it.
Not like this, Baz. Not like this. After all this quality gameplay the whole time, this is how we finish it up. just a basic aerial touch from Sosa, and no one from Maryville is back.
I can't say I'm surprised, though, as Maryville, like we mentioned before, sending the house, and they come up empty. This was my concern, and I'm glad that Fisher noticed it before I could even call it out. I was going to say, hey, Fisher, if Maryville's getting so nervous that they are diving on every play, missing balls on defense, all you have to do is wait, lurk at midfield, and eventually an opportunity will arrive. And it arrives, unfortunately, for Maryville in probably the worst of opportunities there. That's a freebie.
Absolutely.
That's a free bid into the money. Because like you said, they've now secured themselves top 2. And for a Fisher who did not necessarily have the most impressive of collegiate playoff or collegiate championships, yeah, this is a little bit redemption for them, in my opinion.
Absolutely, and they're going to be taking on Harrisburg, who did take down Ball State. And we're going to take a very short break here. We'll get back to the action here in a moment. But before we do, I want you to check out this content as well. Let's get into it and check back in with Easter Seals Northern Indiana for a little motivation. And while Disability Pride Month isn't until July, the ES Gaming Stream Team celebrates Pride all year around. Check this out. We'll be back in just a few moments with the grand finals.
Don't let people walk all over you. You gotta be confident within yourself. You had to dig down deep and find it. And if you find it, you know you can do it. You gotta let it out. It's in there. I can't do it for you. You have to find it within yourself. If no means no, it doesn't mean permanently no. It means just not right now.
When I first came up here, I was meeting the coach right next door. And when I came in the gaming room, I saw players that I thought were mine, and I was just looking at my players. And a couple of weeks later, Paige, Easter Seals head coach, came to me and introduced herself and told me that those were Easter Seals players. And I just think it shows the huge success that it is. In front of that computer, they're like everybody else, and sometimes way more talented just because they're very familiar with their environment, they know what they're doing, and they're just very good at what they do. And so it's something very exciting, something we really want to promote. Doesn't matter who they are, how they are, where they are. If they like video games, well, we all share that passion, and we can all communicate with each other, exchange with each other, and learn from each other.
I'm Erin. This is
Meinberg.
I'm Aubrey Stackhouse.
My name is Anna, and I use she, they pronouns. And I'm really happy to be a part of the Easter Seals stream team. To me, Disability Pride Month is actually about us being able to celebrate ourselves and live our lives on our own terms and display our disability on our own terms.
Because it gives you skills that you don't have, and there's people with disabilities, I know that, can still do a lot of stuff.
I think it means fighting back against those forces that won't go back to things like ugliness laws or back to sanitariums where people who are disabled were not allowed to exist in public, and saying, here we are, we do exist, we are in public, we are part of public society, we are part of public discussions, we are people who exist in society and therefore have all the rights and privileges of someone who lives in society.
It means that we celebrate the people who have severe disability, and I feel like if they were able to do stuff like this, gaming as well, because it's part of being disabled, they would probably love doing something like this. So I feel like we're doing it for them too.
Disability Pride to me is about centering disabled voices, because often disability is focused on the parents and caretakers. It should be about us, our needs, what we want, and what we have to say is very important.
I'm celebrating by not masking my autistic self, by leaning into taking care of myself when it comes to things like dealing with my chronic pain. I think I'm just letting myself follow my special interests and letting that be my guide and having a good time with that.
Just doing games with my friends and going to try them when we can and have fun.
Yeah, we're doing our stream and our practice streaming.
I can't pick just one call to action, apparently. Part of accessibility is guaranteeing access, but it's also guaranteeing hospitality, which means that disabled people should be treated with the same hospitality as non-disabled people wherever we are in public, and that means creating a welcoming, hospitable environment.
And definitely don't be ashamed of who you are, because society likes to shame and oppress disabled people, and we're just not having it.
Not.
We're not.
I mean, just because they have disabilities doesn't mean they can't do things that other people can do.
Just because you have a disability doesn't mean it should stop you from doing what you love.
And it's really important for ES gaming, because like in gaming spaces in particular, disabled people are often ostracized.
So listen and learn. I would say use your voice to advocate, because the more that we can raise awareness for things like accessibility with non-disabled people as allies, I really think the likelier we are to get these things done, because the more people that we can get thinking about creating an accessible world from the get-go, the more likely we are to actually get that world created.
Just don't judge us, be respectful and mindful, and that we have feelings, and you should just treat us like you would with anybody else.
The end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just waiting here for you. I just want your presence. You got me feeling blue. Don't keep me waiting. Don't leave me in this way. Got me going crazy, and I don't wanna wait. I just wanna make you see. I feel like I'm in heaven when you are here with me. Don't keep me waiting. Don't leave me in this way. Got me going crazy, and I don't wanna wait. I just want your loving. Come and give me something. I just want your loving. Come and give me something. just want your presence, you got me feeling blue. And don't keep me waiting, don't leave me in this way. Got me going crazy and I don't wanna wait. I just wanna make you see, I feel like I'm in heaven when you are here with me. And don't keep me waiting, don't leave me in this way. Got me going crazy and I don't wanna wait. I just want your loving, come and give me something. I just want your loving, come and give me something.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Game4Access Collegiate Invitational with ES Gaming, powered by Easter Seals. Hootie Hoo here once again with Bass. One more match to go. Grand Finals up next. We have Harrisburg taking on Fisher. But before we get into that, I want to talk about the Swag Bag ES Gaming giveaway. We are giving away 10 awesome swag bags. All you need to do is join the ES Gaming Discord or follow ES Gaming on Twitter. If you want to know how to do that, do !Discord there in the chat. You can do !ESG for a link to the Easter Seals Gaming website. It's going to provide you with the links to all of their social platforms that you want to support on. Bass, we have two. Did I say? Yeah, I said Harrisburg and Fisher. Okay, I want to make sure I got those right. We have two incredible schools here. I want to highlight some things because we know what this is all about. This is about accessibility and providing opportunities to everyone that we possibly can. So Harrisburg, they've got some awesome accessibility programs there. They have adaptive technology, magnifier screen readers, speech-to-text software. They have alternative formats for text materials, allowance for recording devices, extended time on exams, sign language, oral interpreters, and CART services. Harrisburg, providing some awesome accessibility services for their students. Fisher College also has a note-taking services, audio recording of lectures, technology aids, authorization for assistance animals as well. Super cool for these programs and universities to provide these accessibility services for their students. And we've got some, speaking of students, we got some baller students on these rosters. Talk to me a little bit about this finals. Is this what you were expecting when you looked at the participants in this tournament? And then after you tell me about that, give me some analysis about how you think this thing is going to unfold.
Well, I would say one of the two teams I was probably anticipating to make it into the finals here. Like we said, Fisher are a solid team. They've done well in many events past. They are, while not actually that proficient within the last semester of CRL, they are the CRL World Champion runner-ups. They failed to actually win the World Championship this past summer, but finished in second place. So this is a team which is highly capable. The thing is that we, sometimes see them live up to those expectations. Other times they fall a bit short. Today, they've showed up. They've played well. Their opponents, however, in Harrisburg, this might be one of the most surprising top twos I have ever seen. Okay. This team is good, but they didn't even qualify for CRL last semester. However, this time they came in with a brand new transfer. EU superstar in Polar is the new addition to this team. Now that they have Polar, it seems to be helping them. This team has gone through a gauntlet to get here, beating Northwood, like we said, the former CRL champions, as well as also beating Bol State, the fourth-place team from the last CRL championship as well. So they're facing superstars, and they have faced them all and taken them all down. It's Grand Finals time, and if Harrisburg want to complete the upset victory, they got to do it one more time.
Well, we have made it to the final stage. We've got our two top competitors, Fisher and Harrisburg, and they're going to put on a show for us. Fisher off to a hot start, looking to put on some pressure immediately. Harrisburg will hold tight for the time being. Kinsey has control, has that flip reset, opts not to use it, prefers to save it for a quick recovery. Money's going to hold down that back line for a moment, but Polar actually gets a nice extra touch. And we'll test that Fisher defense. A missed touch from Sosa, but Kinsey has his back covered. Just over 4 minutes to play. Getting started in both sides with a couple of threatening opportunities, Bass.
Chances on either end here, but it kind of feels like Harrisburg haven't really been pushed to the test right now. They're playing very, I wouldn't say slow, but patient. They're not really focusing on rushing into any of these opportunities, and I mean, for better or for worse, you are giving space to Money to try and flip reset like that, but hasn't turned into anything yet. Despite staying on defense throughout this first minute, Harrisburg doing a good job at not getting frazzled by their opponents. And yeah, this isn't too surprising. This is a team that was good last semester. I didn't want to necessarily, oh my goodness, poo-poo them too much, as this is a team, although they didn't qualify for CRL, came very close. So I know they've got the capabilities. They just got to show it.
Next, big challenge there in the midfield. We'll push it into the blue corner, but Kinsey has the read on it. Pops that out central. Sosa's able to get to it, but he's not going to follow it up. T. Carell will collect and push it into the corner. He does, unfortunately, miss that corner boost, which may work out in Nex's favor. He's going to scoop that up. Polar with a nice clear. Might find T. Carell, but the clear has a bit too much pace. T. Carell unable to catch up to it. Now Fisher back here on defense. Harrisburg continuing to pelt the net. Carell with control. He does steal away that corner boost as well. Sosa's clear will push them back onto defense. But they quickly recollect and begin their press once again. T. Carell's pinch lofts into the blue corner. Money looking to cause some problems, but T. Carell's actually going to demo. Polar in a 1v1. He lofts it high. Sosa will force that flick a little bit errant, which will slowly dissipate this Harrisburg press, and now Fisher with a lofty clear will look to set up shop on the orange end.
Big miss. Almost causes some problems for Harrisburg, but so far they're still very much in control. Honestly, I'm not only impressed by Harrisburg and what we're seeing right now, but this looks very different than the way that the team that used to play before they added their new addition in Polar. Now, I can't necessarily say I am surprised, as this is actually the singular CRL team that has a majority EU players. Most of North American CRL has maybe one transfer at maximum. This team has two different Europeans. Both Polar and Nex are European players, and this might be a far too familiar sight here for Fisher, because the team that they ended up losing to in the last CRL World Championship was an EU team. They lose in the first event of 2024 here for the Collegiate space to another EU team. This might be a curse they'll never escape.
Did you have to bring that up? Did you have to make it about the region? Bass, that's a sore spot for us NA fans. Maybe Fisher will pull through. We'll have to see. It's still locked at 0-0. We got a minute 15 on the clock, and they are beginning to press. Kinsey will collect that up the sidewall, but a little miscommunication is going to push them back to the defending in. A bump there on the end, but Money will clear it away. Kinsey in a favorable position, but it's cut off by Polar. Has a good read on the play. And Nex will step up quickly. Sosa took a little bit too much time. Now T. Carell pops, looks for the air dribble, unable to find it. But he does quick turn on that far side and looks for the pass from Polar. He's not going to be able to connect before the Fisher defense will intercept. But they do seem to continue the press, and that is not the greatest clear from Kinsey. Nex is going to step up and easily tap that in. Kinsey on an island by himself back here on defense after Sosa gets beat, and it's just going to be tough to deal with no matter where he puts that ball.
This isn't necessarily too surprising to see Harrisburg there also immediately. This is how they play. I've been gracious enough to be able to see this team and in action, and not just here, but in a couple other instances. And the number one thing I've noticed about them is they will be there before you can blink. They will fill in those gaps. They will pre-jump almost every touch. Good example. I knew Nex was going to be there. I didn't necessarily expect him to miss the shot, but before I could even get the statement out, he was already on the ball. This is one of the most frustrating things about playing this new Harrisburg team. They are so fast, and if you even hesitate for a moment, it's going to be in the back of your net. Good example is that shot been on target. It would have ricocheted all the way downfield into a goal. Instead, Sosa looking to equalize. Shot off target. The rebound isn't exactly there. It'll stay up, but somebody needs to take a shot. Sosa tries. T. Carell deflects. Kinsey cannot keep it up.
Wow.
Harrisburg will take game one.
What an incredible conclusion to the game, too. I mean, after Fisher had really had, they poked down there on offense a couple times, put a couple shots on target. They really didn't have anything super threatening throughout that game until those final moments there. They really had Harrisburg scrambling as the clock winds down. And fortunately for Harrisburg, they do hold. But if Fisher can continue that style of play that we saw right there at the conclusion of Game 1, I think the rest of the series is going to look a little bit different, Bass.
I would agree with you on that one. I think that if Harrisburg continue to play like they just did, and if Fisher continue to up themselves, we're going to also start to see a lot more scoring opportunities. That one was very low scoring, did not see any goals outside of the final minute, but definitely feels like these two teams have the offensive capabilities where this could turn into an all-out brawl. I'm not saying I'd rather see one or the other. I like to see a good defensive game. But it kind of feels like if Harrisburg's going to keep on pre-jumping everything, eventually they're going to miss something, and that's when Fisher will start to score. And similarly, on the other end, if Fisher are going to let them keep pre-jumping everything, they're going to keep getting goals.
Insay, full field air dribble. Blocked away by Polar, and now Next will take over. Not the greatest touch. Will allow Sosa to move in. Look at the composure there as Polar back passes to a teammate. Utter confidence in the communication. Money. Dispossessed. Now T. Carell. A decent chance there. He will send it towards the target, but Money will be in position and able to deal with it. Next. Oh my word. The creativity, and you mentioned this earlier, Next has that freestyle background. I'm sure we'll see that come into play here as he has some aerial opportunities.
Chance here. Polar keeping it close. Almost able to get something to develop there, but not quite. Just kind of feels like Harrisburg, where we thought that maybe Fisher would find some more resistance in this game. Somehow becoming even further in control.
Oh,
Wait
no.
a minute! Not exactly sure what happened here. I saw the early jump due to the demo, but I didn't think that it would mess up Polar this badly.
Wow. Yeah, he just stepped a little bit forward, and Kensei caught him in an awkward position. You're exactly right. It didn't look like he was disrupted that much, but apparently just the positioning alone was enough to keep him out of contention for that. Sosa bumped out of the play, but he will recover before Next can get that shot off. A demo on that blue side. It's going to probably, how do I say, dilute the offensive press here, but Kensei does a great job to hold on to possession. And that's all they needed. Hold for a moment, let that final player respawn in, and once they got all three involved, they put that second goal in. A great play for Money to get a second touch as he drops it to Sosa. 2-0 Fisher.
And they're starting off this game exactly how we kind of anticipated, which is that, okay, you want to pre-jump everything we do, we'll figure it out. And now that they have figured it out, it's up to Harrisburg to try and find a counter to it. Maybe it's just Next freestyling a little bit. This dude, mechanical beyond compare. Fortunately, can't do enough to set up a lane for his teammates to work with. Tries to get something started here. Fuller, similar idea. Long ball downfield will find its way into the hands of nobody. Unfortunately for Harrisburg, it's a lot of attempts at linking up plays. So far, none of the logs quite fitting together. This one off the backboard, Sosa. Touch to keep it off target, but T. Carell there to corral it again. And to get it off the backboard, is anybody there for the shot? Not quite. You can really tell the difference right now, Hootie. Harrisburg would have been pre-jumping that one 2 ways to Sunday in the last game. This one, realizing they have to play a bit more patient. If they keep on jumping at everything, it may not work out, but that will. T. Carell, flip reset into the bump. This is filth.
Woo! I love these kinds of plays. You see these players zip up to the ball, they blast down on that boost, and then right when they get there, they kind of just curl underneath it. It's this beautiful air roll, this beautiful movement, and they just caress the ball so lightly, so controlled. Beautiful stuff there from T. Carell as he uses that dodge to sail forwards and get that bump on the final defender, letting the ball just slowly roll into the target. T. Carell threatening once again. Next up early, and he's found the top left shelf. Harrisburg tie things up. 2:20 on the clock, Bass, and we got us a tie ball game.
I think I figured out how Harrisburg can win. Just let T. Carell do literally whatever he wants on offense, and he'll find a way for the rest of his teammates to score. If he doesn't at least do it himself, he's been filthy. This guy on offense every time has turned into a threat. And I'm not going to lie, I'm a bit surprised by that because, look, Ticarel, solid player, very, very solid player. Would you have said that he was the front man for this team before coming into this one? I don't know if I would have said that.
I don't think so, and even if we had, I don't know that I would have predicted this kind of performance with these kind of mechanics. Ticarel really providing a spark for his team. Next with an opportunity down this sideline. Polar looks to scoop in and grab that boost. A couple extra touches. He's going to drop it central. He's there for the block as well. Ticarel's challenge. Outplayed by Sosa. A very wise play from Nex. He lets it bounce off that backboard and get moving in the direction that he wants. Ticarel, a huge challenge there. He may have the read on the fall down from the sidewall, and he's going to quickly turn after grabbing that corner boost. And you can see the confidence from Harrisburg, a very sharp contrast from what we were seeing in the first minute or so of the game. Fisher with a big clear. They've been quiet for a minute. They need to get something going. That could be it. Kinsey with a shot on target, but the clear will find Ticarel. Money, maybe an opportunity. He does get one extra touch. Sosa there for the shot, but Nex in position will knock it away.
Ooh, and maybe get a counterattack going. The ricochets find its way all the way into the blue end. And Polar almost gets a freebie. Wasn't really expecting the shot. I can't blame him, so he tries to wrap it into something, but starts up an offense for his team. Re-jump play there would have been spectacular. May still be, as Harrisburg not allowing an escape here for anybody on Fisher. Fisher not only getting pressed in their half, but dwindling on their boost totals. They'll make a save, and they need to, because Sosa, 16 in the tank, just trying to buy time for his teammates to get something started. Shot goes well wide of the target here, and Fisher, where they could have closed out this game, now let it continue to tick away. Under 30 to play. Harrisburg might have just found themselves an escape.
What?
Where? What?
Ticarel just living on the ceiling, I guess. Able to tap one just around the oncoming challenge from Fisher. They do have it on the blue end, but Kinsey will have control. He's working down the sideline. He's got it around one. He's got no boost, but he slings it. Oh, my word. I thought it was in. A save at the final moment. We've got 0 seconds here. Once the ball hits the ground, we're going to head to OT. Polar keeps it alive, and that may have been a mistake. Money sends it forward, but Sosa can't catch up, and we go to OT for game 2.
Harrisburg got to be thanking their lucky stars right now. There was no reason to keep that ball up, and it almost turns into a quick Fisher counterattack. They still will get the first attack of overtime here, but doesn't really turn into much. And 1v1 versus Ticarel. I do not envy you, Money, and that's the reason why.
Oh, no.
I was going to say he actually just buys time for his teammates to get in position. The issue is, if your teammates don't do their job, it doesn't matter.
That's a big miss there from Kinsey. It's an awkward angle, and we've all been there where you're facing the incorrect direction. The ball's coming from over your back shoulder, and it's just tough to read it right and position that car to make a good touch. Because here's the thing, Bass, he knows he can't just drop that down. He can't just make any touch. He's got to get that safely to a corner, or there's going to be a follow-up shot as well. Tough spot for Kinsey to be in, but he's got to make that play if he wants to hold that OT. Harrisburg up 2-0 in the series. Fisher going to have to reverse sweep here in the grand finals. Tough task, Bass.
Tough task? I'm going to get close to impossible unless we see them basically come out the gate swinging here in game number 3. And I hate saying that. This is a Fisher team who have been incredibly capable, whether it be in CRL playoffs, CRL World Championships, just in everything that they do. Again, all 3 of these players have extensive professional experience. The issue is this is an opponent they've quite literally never seen before. Harrisburg did not make CRL last split. They probably will make it this one, but it's with a new squad. Now they've got to make adjustments against a foe that they just don't quite recognize. Game 3, Harrisburg on the verge of sweeping Fisher to take the tournament.
And that was your surprise, too. Yeah. You say you know the Harrisburg going into this may not have been your confident pick to reach the grand finals, and here they are on the verge of sweeping a very talented roster here with Fisher. And they've done it in quite clean fashion, I might add. You know, that they have definitely dealt with pressure from Fisher, specifically in Game 2. But even so, they come roaring back. And, you know, after that initial probably 2 minutes or so where Fisher really had control, I mean, from that point forward, Harrisburg just had complete domination of possession. Ticarel was popping off. The teammates were getting involved as well. It just looks to be Harrisburg's night.
No, it's their night for at least now. Unfortunately for them, the sun has not quite set, and they still gotta win at least one more game. Although the start of this game hasn't gone bad for them, and hasn't exactly gone good either, as they've impressed into their own half and going to play some defense for pretty much the entirety of it. More defense necessary here. Next, we'll win the 50, and Polar comes from I don't know where to get that touch. And again, this is where Harrisburg is so hard to predict. They are pre-jumping everything, but they're coming from angles that you would never imagine. So, as Fisher try to string plays together, they're constantly interrupted, which has got to be so frustrating.
And I'm seeing some desperation bump attempts, both on the ground and in the air. I saw a play where one of their Fisher teammates had knocked it high, and we see a player just sailing through the sky, had no intention of pursuing the ball, but instead just wanted to pursue the play. There's another bump inside the box, and Sosa will capitalize this time. Fisher strike first in game 3.
Fisher strike first after 2 minutes of offense, and it's an accidental shot. Sosa tries to put it on target, ends up flipping into the rebound, and ends up getting the shot on and in to create a goal. Look, I'm glad Fisher get it, but unfortunately for them, that was 2 minutes worth of just shot after shot after shot, and that's what ends up dribbling in. Harrisburg get even one opportunity close to that. I have a feeling they're going to tie the game up within a matter of seconds.
This feels eerily similar to the prior game where Fisher did come out with a lot of pressure, but all it's going to take is one moment, one slight mistake from Fisher, a moment of weakness, and Harrisburg will pounce. It's a big block there from T. Carell. He's going to loft central. Wait, a demo on the goal line. This could be the key for Fisher. A little bit of physical aggression. T. Carell's got it past 2. Kinsey lofts a powerful shot from the midfield, but next will calmly collect it into the corner. Polar, pass 1. A 50 with the second. He's still on the ball somehow. Sosa in position. T. Carell does grab that boost, so Sosa's stranded with little to work with. T. Carell looking for the pass. But it's cleared away by Fisher.
Ooh, next out of the corner. I was going to say boost in time, but not enough time as quickly. Sosa collapses on him, and next decides, all right, cool. Don't give me the dribble out of my own half. Let me just pre-jump this one instead. Again, I don't know what it is about this Harrisburg team, but they try as they might. Still can't stop the counterattacks. What a great pass for money.
Absolutely. What a chase down from Sosa, too. T. Carell was in position and definitely going to make a stop if Sosa didn't pursue the ball. This is something that happens a lot in basketball and soccer. Someone will make a pass, and you don't come to the play, right? You sit there and you wait on the ball to come to you. Sosa did not do that. He pursued the play, stepped forward, and slammed that shot off the near post. Great execution from Fisher, and that gives them their second goal here for Game 3. They built a little lead. They've only got 90 seconds to play, but Harrisburg firing on all cylinders, trying to get back into this and give themselves a chance for OT. A couple of demos and physical aggressive plays. There's another one, but this time it's from Fisher on the retreat. T. Carell with control. A clean air dribble, but it's going to be blocked away at the final moment there by the Fisher defense. A bump on the goal line potentially. Actually, Money will slither his way out of that. Polar with a second touch on the backboard. And Harrisburg, you get the feeling they're going to have to make something happen quick. Give themselves some time. As the clock winds down, we're at the 60-second mark.
I think that they just need to get one goal, and then really they can focus on the next one afterwards. They need that spark right now. It feels like the team, again, similar to what we were seeing out of Boise before. They're building up a lot of plays. They're just not finishing them. Terrell trying to prove that he can do something to get his team started here. Looking for a 50. Will not find it as Money doesn't bite. Polar up early will at least keep it on the Fisher half. Next do the same as this one ricochets into his corner where he's being chased by a Fisher player. Kinda. That extra touch there probably wasn't necessary and might have actually just halted any momentum that they were trying to build. Harrisburg looking like they're going to have to try and turn this around later in the series. Hold on now. T. Carell comes off the ceiling, and that would have been the singular goal that I think would have reignited this engine. And it's not going to happen. Game 4's around the corner, Hootie. We finally got a series.
We got a reverse sweep on the cards as well. Fisher looking stronger as the series goes on. We have to mention it. While Harrisburg definitely was in command for the first couple of games, Fisher made that second one a little bit more competitive, and now this third one, they've got the victory. Are they just a slow warm-up? We'll have to see as the series continues to unfold, but I am excited that we get some more Rocket League action. We've had some awesome competitive matches throughout this evening. and we're not stopping now.
No, we are not. And to be honest, I'd be surprised if we stop in the next game either. Something about a best of 5 in Rocket League, if you are going to have a team that's going for the reverse sweep, they're at least carry us to 5. Or at least that would be the intended goal. I'd like to see that, as Fisher definitely do deserve more shots. But to be honest, Harrisburg also probably playing their most lackluster game. Not only for the fact that they didn't score a goal, did you notice how many saves they had? 3 total saves there. They were not playing a very defensive game. Harrisburg, you guys are extremely capable, but the ways that you were doing that is by pressing your opponents and keeping the speed high. You guys started hesitating in that game and trying to play a more defensive posture. It actually made your defense worse because you guys had a worse speed than your opponents. Keep the speed up. Keep the uncomfortability up. I want to see those pre-jumps. When it worked beautifully. Yeah, that isn't exactly working beautifully for Harrisburg.
Look at this. Money off the ceiling. An air dribble demo. Not an air dribble bump. A demo. He deleted that player from the pitch, and the ball is just going to sail in unchallenged. Fisher going to continue that momentum into Game 4. A big play to make a statement and let Harrisburg know, hey, you may have the lead, but we are not done yet.
I don't even think they've even started yet, if I'm being honest here. I think this team is just starting to figure out the ingredients to cook here in the kitchen. Unfortunately for Harrisburg, they can't handle the spice. Although, it might actually literally just be too much for them. It might knock them out at a point because, my goodness, look how much this ball has just lived in this Harrisburg side. Come on, Harrisburg, do something. Try and change this up. Ooh, don't give a more or less open shot. They're lucky Polar's back. I don't think it'll make a difference, or maybe it will. Polar, heroics to save his team. They can't keep relying on these single plays of the defense in order to stop this Fisher offense. They are dominating right now.
Both sides heating up the aerial mechanics. We saw that incredible play from Money early on. He almost tagged another one in, and then T. Carell, we saw that musty flick. He would have set up a double tap, but didn't have the boost in the tank. We got a redirect opportunity here for Kinsey. Fortunately for Harrisburg, Polar back in position. We got lots of time on the clock. No sense of urgency just yet. Kinsey with some space. Actually, he didn't have any space, but he does outplay that immediate challenge. I couldn't spot them myself, but of course these players are aware of it. They know where everyone is on the field at all times. A back pass there from Money may allow Fisher to maintain control. It sure does. Sosa will pick it up. He's got an extra touch pass one, but he's not going to be able to follow it up for a double touch. Another shot on target, blocked away by Nex. A demo there should slow down this press for Fisher. Potentially provide a bit of space for Harrisburg to try to work this thing out. Polar in tandem with T. Carell will get it down onto the blue end, but only for a moment. Sosa sends it right back.
Pressure here from Fisher is just unrelenting on either end. Even if Harrisburg do break away into an offense, they're very quick to collapse on them and at least prevent them from getting these plays together, stringing these touches that would turn into passing plays. It's got to be frustrating if you are Harrisburg, but it doesn't mean it's impossible to overcome. Just need to start doing stuff like this. T. Carell is so mechanical through the first half of this series. Here in the back half, he's been relatively quiet. Same with Nex, to be honest. Him and T. Carell were such a 1-2 punch combo. It's not quite seeing that anymore. Maybe here, T. Carell off the side wall has a little bit of boost to work with. Sosa's quick 50-50 won the offense for now.
Polar's going to have to hustle back after a missed touch there from Nex, but he does so expertly, flawlessly. Collects that corner boost, and he will keep it safely here in the corner. Insay, some space to work with. Polar's going to be up quick. T. Carell does secure that corner boost, and he begins the press. Just going to stay behind this ball. Polar's actually going to sneak in and put a shot on target. Next. Slowing things down, looking for the near post shot. Unable to get past the Fisher defense. And that seems to be the case for Harrisburg. After Game 2, Fisher just really stepped it up. And I do think that you're right about that aggression switch. You know, it feels as though Harrisburg, you know, there was some desperation, some bite to what they were doing early in the series, and then they got that two game lead in the series, and it almost feels like they were like, hey, let's just not throw. Let's no longer play to win. Let's not throw. Let's not lose. And you alluded to it there. That's not going to provide you the opportunities that you need to beat a team of this caliber. With 1:12 on the clock, Harrisburg's got to turn it up now.
They're trying, I will say that. They've had a lot of these long balls downfield where they attempt to get plays together, but it's stuff like that that keeps me hesitant from saying that they're going to turn the series around. Polar, that retreat is not a horrible idea if not for the fact that you have a minute to go. That was one of your best opportunities this entire game. Maybe you can make up for it. Looking for a 50. Will force 2 to commit. Just get this center and get the shot off, but it takes too long. Harrisburg, they just aren't aware of what is happening right now. Is somebody aware of this one as it dribbles on the line? They are playing with our emotions right now, just as if Fisher are playing with their prey. Feels like they are 1 goal away from guaranteeing not just the game, but the series. As Harrisburg, I mean, I can't really remember the last time I would say they were at the advantage.
They've got to make it happen right now. We know the 0-second magic is always there, but I'm sure they would rather score 1 in regulation. Money off the backboard. Kinsey looks to go around the goalkeepers. Final 10 seconds. Kinsey's shot is on, and that's going to secure game number 4. Unless we have some absolute shenanigans here to follow. Harrisburg down by 2 with 7 seconds left.
They're down by 2, and not only is this a familiar sight, it's a scary one. You remember the scoreline of last game, Hootie? Was it a 2-0 favor of Fisher? Means Harrisburg here with another 2-0, or at least so we suspect, as there is still technically a chance here. Offense brewing, but will hit the ground, or so I thought. Oh, please don't give another goal to Fisher. This one goes the other way. It almost does. But with a second 2-0 in a row now, it's 2 shutout games. That is 10 minutes scoreless for Harrisburg, as their last goal was the overtime winner in Game 2.
And that is concerning, Bass. That has got to feel rough on the mental. You know, to start this thing so hot, it's a roller coaster of emotions. You feel confident, you feel good, everything's clicking. T. Carell's popping, the players are all getting involved. Defense is locked down on the backside. And then things slowly start shifting. And they continue shifting. And now it's shifted all the way to the other side. Fisher is rocking and rolling. As you said, 10 minutes straight without conceding. That's rough. Harrisburg has got to make some serious adjustments, and it's now or never. We are in Game 5, and this is what we want, folks. We've had a few tonight, Game 5s. We've had some overtimes. Let's see what the Grand Finals has in store. Fisher versus Harrisburg. It all comes down to this one 5-minute match of Rocket League. Who is going to be crowned the Game4Access Collegiate Invitational Champion?
Like we said, this means 2 different things to both of the sides here. For Fisher, this is redemption. After a lackluster CRL playoff run, it would feel so good for them in what would probably be the final offseason event for Collegiate to be a win for them. Which sets the precedent going back into the next season. For Harrisburg, on the other end, it's not about setting the precedent from a lackluster last season. It's about setting the tone at all. This is a team that has never competed at this level. They've gotten close. They almost qualified for CRL. But if they go from a team that doesn't qualify to winning a major offseason tournament, yeah, that'll turn some heads throughout the collegiate scene. A lot on the line for both teams, and that's why we've gotten all the way to Game 5 in such a nail-biting fashion. And even here in the first minute of Game 5, it's already continuing that way. No goals on either side. Maybe next can make me eat my words, but he misses it off the backboard.
That's a tough read. He was up with utter confidence, but he's unable to make anything happen there. T. Carell is going to take over here. He will send Kinsey packing. But a decent touch there from Kinsey will shove it back to the midfield. Polar's going to be the first to it. Now Sosa, he's got some boost. Opts for the heavy touch, and next will drop it into the corner. Now T. Carell's only got 40 in the tank. He's going to keep it low and slow. He picks up that 100. But he will be dispossessed. 3:30 left to roll. 0-0 as well. Both teams, they don't want to be that first to concede. They know that it's so difficult. Oh, no! Bass! Not like this. A pinch central from Money. And you've got a defender who has walked just a hair off the goal line and next ends up own goaling for the first goal of Game 5.
I don't know what to say. I get it. I mean, it's an understandable play. Polar plays high. If you're next, you're going to play just a little bit out of the goal, imagining that a pinch should ricochet out center. Instead, somehow the pinch is put at basically the corner of the wall and just happens to roll perfectly to where you are waiting. Very rarely do I say something is unlucky in Rocket League and that it really isn't the fault of the defender. It's odd to even see RNG in this game. that might be one of the first times I can truly say that I don't blame the defender. That's just random, unfortunate luck.
Do they have the composure to overcome the unfortunate circumstances? The cards are in their hands. A fake from Sosa. Kinsey with control. The 50-50 lofts high. Money's going to be the first to it. Can he follow it down? No, he's not able to. At least not before T. Carell will sweep it out. Polar on the backboard. Does get one clear over the oncoming attack. T. Carell, one touch. Blocked by Money. Kinsey deleting some players off the pitch on his rotation home. Polar. It's a great first touch. T. Carell's up very early. Really wanted to generate an opportunity here. I think you can feel the urgency from the Harrisburg side. Again, I mean, you called it out. Now we're looking at 13 minutes straight of gameplay with no goals. And if that doesn't force some desperation, I don't really know what will.
Next, full tank of boost. Good passing play. Like what we're seeing out of Harrisburg here, as they are starting to develop plays together. Fortunate thing for them is that they've waited until the final 2 minutes of the entire series in order to start doing so. Next, you do not have the boost to go for an air dribble there, and unfortunately learns that as soon as he attempts to go forward. Now, defense necessary. Next off the sidewall. Not going to leave it to Polar. Instead, we'll get a pinch. Forces it into the other end. Gives Harrisburg now a chance at some offense. 50-50. Sosa muscles through both of them in a row. That might be a breakaway for Fisher. Not for Next on the back end. Feels like Harrisburg are getting more and more lethal with their approaches, but they need to do something to actually get it into the back of the net. All this build-up again. Just no follow-through. Polar trying to make me eat my words. Look for Next center. Can't quite get the touch. It's a triple commit out of Fisher, and they still can't get a shot on.
Final 50 seconds. Money. Nice challenge there in the corner. You know that they are going to throw everything they got at this Fisher defense. T. Carell, one opportunity there, blocked by Kinsey. Good patience from Next. He's going to absorb that challenge, but a nice push from Kinsey will force him back to the midfield. Money up high. Next, the first to it. Wait a second. The flip reset opportunity. It does go towards the target, but Sosa, perched on the backboard, nice and calm, will sweep it away. Polar out to the corner. Polar pass one. Kinsey and Sosa back on defense. Next, going to step in. He sends one towards the target. Sosa has done well to evade the bump and send that away. Final 10 seconds. Polar sends one deep. Money with control on the backboard. The clear over Next. T. Carell will be dispossessed by Kinsey. And all Fisher need to do is knock this to the ground. Sosa does it. Fisher complete the reverse sweep. And they are your Game4Access Collegiate Invitational champions.
One of the weirdest ways I have ever seen a series end. But to be honest, I don't know if without that own goal, the outcome was going to change anyways. It's a great effort from Harrisburg, but the reality is rather clear to see. After Game 2, they struggled on offense. 15 minutes scoreless by the end of that series. And again, it might not have been a goal that Fisher straight up earned, considering it was some weird circumstances to get it in. The reality stands. It's not as if Harrisburg earned a goal of their own. They still were scoreless in that final game.
That's right. And I want to say a GG's to all teams. Thank you all for participating. Thank you to ES Gaming and Oxygen as well for helping us put on this amazing event. We're going to close things out here, but before we do, I want to shout out a few more things. Once again, we have the ES Gaming swag bag. 10 individuals are going to be taking home some free stuff. Y'all check out that ES Gaming Discord server. You can do you can do exclamation point Discord here in the chat. I also want you to check out that ES Gaming website, exclamation point ESG right there in the chat as well. Check out their website, see what they're supporting, support the cause, check out their socials, give some support to Easter Seals. They are uplifting and enriching the lives of many people that need that help. So big shout out to Easter Seals. I also want to just congratulate the winners. You know, big shout out to Fisher. They're going to take home a little bit of a cash prize, $1,500. We want to give a congratulations to Harrisburg as well. They're going to take home a $1,000 cash prize as well. So, Bass, any final thoughts before we close things out? I mean, just an awesome event.
Oh, yeah. This was a great event. Shout out to everybody who made this possible. Like we said, Easter Seal, seriously, cannot thank you enough. Shout out to, really, all of the teams that also participated in this as well. To see so much incredible collegiate talent show up and really show out for something like this, it's awesome to see. And again, really, I guess the only other shout out I can have is that if you like this type of gameplay, go support the players. Go find them on socials. Go watch some more Collegiate Rocket League. There's always collegiate something going on within the Rocket League scene, and I promise you, they're all about this exciting. It maybe doesn't end this way with a reverse sweep from an own goal Game 5, but usually it's pretty exciting.
Absolutely. And one final huge shout out and thank you to Pro Bono ASL. Incredible work here, man. Y'all have been rocking. We appreciate you guys for providing that incredible accessibility service. One final time, I want to check out some content before we close this thing out. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful evening. We've got one final piece of content to close out the last break of the night, ending on the theme of community. We've got an amazing community here. Please do your part in amplifying inclusion and access so we can all play together. Check out this content before you roll. Thank you again, and enjoy your evening.
Our goal was to start the first project up in Easter Seals Rise because of Trine University.
Great for the Easter Seals clients to utilize state-of-the-art facilities. Great for our students to share their level of expertise, if you will, with clients who they can also learn a lot from.
I interact with their players every Friday, and I just see the resources that they bring to succeed in what they're doing. So when they sit in front of that computer, they're exactly like everyone else. They understand everything, they know exactly what to do, and they're so independent about it.
There's a long list of what's done for me, but my number one is it's opened so many doors for me. Has given me something to look forward to every week, and it's helping me to stay more calm.
There's just a level of excitement that I haven't found anywhere else. So I love the passion behind it and the true drive to make a change within this gaming community.
Their confidence level has really built up quite a bit. They've learned a lot of soft skills working together as a team. I think going over and working with the Trine students and gaming with the Trine students has really helped them experience peer relationships that they might not have if it's not for this gaming opportunity.
It was great and fun. It's great. Get to socialize with other people.
I really hope that people understand that when we want to go out in the community and work, that's what we're there to do.
We're expanding to a new arena, more room for public, so parents and friends can actually see what is happening, and then more gaming stations to really give access to everybody. But then streaming studio, caster booth, and offices just to bring all the esports part together.
We've formed a partnership, and the partnership has been beneficial to both parties. It's a real win-win all around.
I think for other organizations, other affiliates, just looking at how we can share resources even when it comes to attracting different donors and reaching out to different stakeholders. To me, this is just a great way to interact in a different level with people.
Hi, I'm Teresa Gallagher. I've been attending Easter Seals for 10 to 15 years. I go to their adult program for people with disabilities. We go to a rodeo every year, and that's a big deal because we all get dressed up and we go and we have fun. And we do different service projects too. I do lots of things, but I enjoy Easter Seals just because I get to teach people and I get to mentor to other people. I'm one of the original members of when it started, so I like that the new members are coming up and they're asking us original members like how we do things, how we live independently. It's really hard when people tend to speak up for you to have a voice for yourself. I think that's important. You know, our disabilities are the last things we usually think about, and we just go about our lives. We may do it differently than most people do, but people get to see that even though we have disabilities, we're still able to contribute to the community, and we're still able to go out and we're just normal people.
What does inclusivity mean to me? It means that we try to work together to make those spaces more welcoming from the get-go.
Designing things to be used by everyone.
People being able to enjoy gaming with their difficulties minimalized.
Being part of what people think of when they think of their target audience, their target friends, their target everything.
And being able to have it that they are accommodated for.
And disabled gamers definitely have a space in the public to not be ashamed of who we are.
I think Easter Seals gaming can make a big impact with the gaming community, which I think helps a lot of people see that there's not only one way to play a game.
And to just have a voice in the community where it shows off what we can do and what we can accomplish.
And showcasing what has already been created so that it can be improved on in the future.
I think ES Gaming is a voice for disabled gamers. And I think, that's what we need.
We're not necessarily here to talk about whether something should be accessible or not. We already all agree on that.
Being disabled is not ever a bad thing or a shameful thing. It's not something that we should hide.
To let it go, baby. You got to let it go. You got to let it go, baby. You got to let it go. To let it go, baby. You got to let it go. You got to let it go, baby. You got to let it go. Drop.